Oh my God. We're coming to do live shows in Melbourne and Sydney coming up. Dave, what are the details?
We are coming up to Sydney very, very soon, live Saturday, July 13th, 2024 at the Ritz Cinema in Randwick, our first podcast in Sydney in almost 2 years. What a great venue. Come on down.
So excited. And then, Dave, you and I are going to be doing a live Who Knew It with Matt Stewart at 3 p.m. on August the 3rd at Comedy Republic. It's the 100th episode. Whoa.
It is so exciting. And Jess, where can people get tickets?
At dogoonpod.com. You really put me on the spot there, and I did okay.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
They say opposites attract. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is the best bed for couples. You want a bed that feels firm, but they want soft? Sleep Number does that. You want to sleep cooler while they like to feel warm? Sleep Number does that too. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number number 1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now Sleep Number Smart Beds start at $999. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart.
Hello, it's me, Matt Stewart, a ghost.
Are you dead?
No, that's my full name, Matt Stewart, a ghost.
Oh.
I've changed it by deed poll.
How did you not know that? We all went with him to deed poll.
Remember?
Yeah, we were.
I also split my voice in two.
Was that also by deed poll?
By deed poll.
You've got to pay extra.
Yeah.
And while you're here changing your name, would you like to split your voice at all?
Yes.
Please.
You could pick any accent you like, British, for example.
Could I get my friend Jess?
He called me his friend.
Yes. And it's on
she
tape.
didn't even flinch.
Play it cool, Jess. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for everyone for listening.
A pleasure. Thank you for being
and
here.
For the people who's listening for the first time, Jess, what would you tell them?
I'd tell
Your
them...
little pitch what this show is.
Okay, here's what I'd say. If you're listening for the first time, where the fuck have you been? Hey, I hope that rock you've been under was really nice.
Yeah. Wait, is our new listener Sandra Sully with the late news?
An incredible reference. No, actually, hello. We're very nice, and you are welcome here. This is a podcast all about how my life.
Do you want me to sub in here? Or?
Yeah, I think
No, I can do it. I can do it. So one of the three of us researches a topic usually suggested to us by our wonderful listeners, which you are now one of, and we go away, we research, we bring it back, we tell it to the other two, we call it like a report, and the other two listen politely and never go on dog shit riffs.
Yes.
Why would we?
Why would we? That would be silly.
If it was an option not to, of course we wouldn't.
What are we? Comedians? No, we're historians.
Exactly.
Yes.
Don't look it up.
And we make that very clear in the descriptions of the podcast. Very clear.
Yes, that was after a lot of time people on YouTube going, get to the point. And I'm like, every week I'd specify even more that
comedy, underline.
Yeah.
Dog shit riffs.
Yeah.
Tangents.
Not for everyone.
We're sorry.
Why are they laughing about this brutal murder? Well, it's a comedy podcast, and also we didn't know about the murder because we didn't know what the topic was.
That's right.
Etc.
I know what the topic is because I'm doing the report this week, and we always get onto the topic with a question. And my question this week, hands on buzzers, what decade
Dave's my buzzer, though.
has the nickname Roaring?
Jess! Buzz!
Sorry, let me buzz for you, Jess.
Yes?
Jess.
Thank you, Dave. The 20s.
That's right.
Yeah!
Which, I mean, in the classic voice, how do they say it?
The Roaring 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at the time, they were describing themselves as the
Yeah, from January the 1st.
Yeah. They could tell something was changing.
The winds were changing.
Yeah, the winds were roaring.
I read a bit of an article as I got distracted, as, we always do when we're in researching topics. You go off on little things and go, no, I'm trying to tell this story. But there was this article that suggested that if it wasn't for the Great Depression, that the 20s would be more remembered like the 60s. Like it was moving that way. Equality and everything was opening up. Women were getting, more rights and whatever, and it was heading that way. But the Great Depression sort of sent everything backwards a little bit.
Wow.
And then, took to the 60s. But a lot of those ideas were already around at that time.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that.
No, I was sort of surprised where they were as well. Well, it was one part of one essay I read, but it was on a university website.
Okay.
So I believe that...
Mr. Academia.
I think that pretty much...
I did a little shimmy when I said that. Oh, Mr. Academia.
You're going to be referencing this one?
Oh, Professor Matthew. Hello.
Oh, Jess. I didn't know you were a flapper. Something from the 1920s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dave wouldn't get it, but Jess and I do.
We get it.
Because we're children of the
corn?
The corn. Children of the corn.
Children of the corn.
Children of the corn. We're both wearing yellow today. True.
True. I'm really hyped. I had a coffee and now I've started to have a Coke. And
Matt's had 2 coffees.
Yeah.
I'm worried about him too.
I'm jittery as shit.
But I asked for this one to be low calf, and they said, "What does that mean?"
You want like half strength.
And they said like weak.
Yeah.
And then we got a fun relationship with our local cafe here.
You do.
And she and she goes to me, "Never order it like that again," which was very funny. It made me laugh.
That is pretty good.
Never order it like that. It's weak. Wait, I'm being weak, or she's like, no, the order say weak coffee.
Okay.
I thought low calf sounded good, but
no, it sounds stupid.
I made a fool of myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, tonight's and today's, depending on when you're listening, topic is set in the Roaring 20s.
Wow.
Let us begin.
Okay, you're not going to tell us anything about it. It's just set in the 20s.
Yeah.
Love it.
Actually, funny, I read something recently about the 20s.
Oh, no.
Dave
goes on to explain this whole story.
Anyway, Matt, what were you going to say?
I spent 2
well, yeah. No,
Anyway,
that was really well
But he's just
told.
riffing it off the top of his head.
That was actually much better than anything I've written down here.
Yeah, nothing to add. Thanks for joining us.
I guess we do the Patreon section and...
So on the evening of the 20th of March, 1927, Albert and Ruth Snyder slept in their house in Queens Village, New York City, after returning from a party at approximately 2 a.m.
Oh my God, party animals.
They slept in the same room, but in separate beds.
That's what they say.
Are they siblings or spouses?
Spouses.
Separate beds. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. You do you. Whatever.
Do you think it counts as a separate bed if you push them together? Technically, is that still separate beds?
Well, I think a lot of hotels will sell it
As one, yeah.
As one, even though, we can see the gap.
Okay, okay. I think here's the distinction. Separate beds, completely different sheets and doona cover, duvet, whatever, blankets. That's separate beds.
Okay. And what
Two mattresses pushed together. Yeah, let me fucking finish. 2 mattresses pushed together, same, like one big sheet over it, one big blanket. That's just a double bed, baby.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I think.
About a little wall in the middle of pillows?
That's just...
Dave, are you asking us about your home life?
Yeah, that's just a marriage in trouble.
Yeah. And what if you wake up and someone's smothering you with her pillow?
Hey, Dave, would it be fair to say that you're just a couple of nights away from someone going to stay with their mother?
I mean, the doghouse. Literally. And we don't have a dog. I'm in the backyard.
And the dog's in the bed.
Yeah. The dog is literally in the bed.
Yeah.
So, yes, they slept in the same room but in separate beds. All of a sudden, middle of the night, Ruth Snyder was awoken by noises coming from upstairs. When she got up to investigate, she found what she later described to police as a giant man who was standing outside the bedroom door. There was a second man who was not visible to her, and the 2 men conversed in a foreign language. Next thing she knows, she's knocked out cold and doesn't come to for 6 hours. In the meantime, the intruders enter the bedroom, strangling Albert, her husband, with picture wire before giving him a knockout blow with something called a sash weight from the bedroom window. Do you know what a sash weight is? I didn't know what it was.
As in, like, something that when it goes around the curtains?
Yeah, it's like a little heavy weight. It's like a counterweight for sash windows.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just, according to the dictionary, it's a weight attached by a cord to each side of the sash of a sash window to balance it at any height.
Okay, I don't
They're
think
just
I know
little
what it is.
little
Yeah.
weights,
Little weights.
basically. Yeah.
Yep.
But little heavy things.
I don't know what a sash window is.
They look nice. I looked them up, but yeah, I don't know. We're too young to know about these sort of details.
Yeah,
we're hip, we're
we
cool.
weren't alive in the Roaring 20s.
I mean, I was, but I was. If you were around, if you remember the 1920s, were you really there?
Yeah, you weren't doing it right.
That's what I always said.
What kind of 20s are we in now?
Oh, I don't know. I guess only history will tell.
Maybe like the yawning 20s?
Yeah, the snoozing.
Yeah.
Snoozing 20s.
It was disappointing on January 1st. I did hope to wake up to welcome back to the Roaring 20s, but they didn't say it.
No.
So we don't know what
But
it is.
this is in 1927.
Yes.
So maybe it'll take a few years to really get into the...
Did you say snoring 20s?
I said yawning.
Why didn't we say snoring? Roaring, snoring.
Fuck!
Jesus.
That is really good.
Or just boring.
Boring
Oh my
20s.
God.
Oh my God.
We-
I went straight to yawning like an idiot.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. We're not very good at this.
No. Talk about dog shit. Riffs.
That was a weird emphasis.
It was.
Talk about dog shit.
Little pause.
That would make sense if like dog shit literally was it. Anyway, so yes.
This is not good.
No, it's not good.
And you say knockout blow. I'm not sure if this man's alive.
Yeah,
Strangle with piano wire sounds like...
Strangle seems bad.
That sounds like good night.
Knockout blow is
He dead.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm putting it softly, but they caved in his head.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I didn't mean to put it in such full
Yeah, that
terms.
was full on. That made me a bit sick.
Yeah.
They bludgeoned him.
He was, yeah.
Oh, that's horrific.
Then the two assailants ransacked the house before fleeing with Ruth Snyder's jewels. They left very few clues of their identities, but this was in the days before fingerprints and DNA evidence. Something they did accidentally leave behind, though, was an Italian language newspaper on a table downstairs.
Okay, now they were speaking a foreign language. I wonder if it was French.
You're connecting some dots.
A lot of people speak French. It could be French.
It could be French. It's quite, or actually, like, it could be like Spanish. Spanish is actually quite a, it's a big language, or like, it could have been like Mandarin.
Yeah, I reckon it might be
Mandarin's the most
Mathematically,
spoken.
yeah.
Yeah. So just like statistically,
Yeah.
I reckon the Italian language newspaper was a red herring.
Yes. Or maybe they'd used it to wrap up their red herrings, aka fish and chips.
Oh, they're British.
Yes.
They love fish and chips
And
over there.
when you're in America, everyone speaking English with a British accent, it sounds like a foreign language.
Oh,
Especially if you've
yeah.
woken up in the middle of the night and you're hearing, "How you going, governor?" You're like, what are you saying?
Yeah, I don't understand. Water? What's that?
Water.
Water.
All right, let's go back slightly. So who is this victim, Albert Snyder? Well, he was born on the 11th of October, 1882 in Kings County, New York. And he was just 44 years old at the time of his death. At the time of his murder, he was an art editor for the magazine Motorboating.
Okay. And that's a magazine about...
I assume, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean...
But he just covered it artistically.
Yeah, that's right. Very tastefully done. Very tastefully done.
A tasteful motorboat.
Yeah.
There's nothing better.
Just page after page of photos of motorboats. This magazine was part of the massive Hearst media empire, which seems to regularly come up on this show. But have we ever covered Patty Hearst, who was the kidnapped?
The kidnap from...
No.
No,
She
we
was-
haven't.
Yeah.
It's in the hat.
It is in
People
that.
have definitely recommended. I think I might have put it up to the vote before, and it hasn't quite gone through.
For the newspaper strike, did you mention William Randolph Hearst?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And it seems like it's a big
Which was in the
family.
20s as well, I think.
Many generations. Like
No, it wasn't.
but
I think it was 1800s.
I think maybe it was the second generation already by this stage.
Yeah.
The guy who started it was earlier, but yeah. It's just a big hectic empire. Ruth wasn't his first love. 15 years earlier, he was heartbroken when his fiancée, Jessie Gouchard, died of pneumonia shortly before their marriage.
Ugh. I hope you made it very clear to Ruth that she wasn't his first choice.
You are a runner-up.
Just the way she wasn't his first love. I was like, oh, okay. Still loves her though, they're happy.
2 years later, he met and fell for Ruth Brown, who became Ruth Snyder. They got married.
2 years is okay.
And according to Bill Bryson, who covers this story in his book One Summer, which focuses on the American summer of 1927, This book, it's a great book, and it covers so many topics we've talked about in the past as well.
Because that's a pivotal year, is it?
Yeah, it was, I guess you could sort of probably turn a lot of years into a, if you focus in on things.
Not 1994. Nothing happened.
Name one thing that happened in 1994.
Name one other thing.
The Eagles won their second premiership.
Okay, so only one thing happened then.
Yes, but so the other one of the other big things he focuses on is your man, the plane guy. What's his name?
The plane guy.
Howard Hughes.
Another one of your plane guys that Dave's done a.
Mr. Concorde.
You might have done a double episode about it. You've done a lot of plane episodes.
Yeah, I have. Not DB Cooper.
No, doesn't matter. But it's the guy who broke a record. His baby ended up getting
Lindbergh.
Lindbergh. Yeah. So Lindbergh, as this story wraps up, America gets obsessed with Lindbergh like a couple days later, and that's how
the flight bit or the mystery bit.
The flight bit.
Right, gotcha.
Wow.
Anyway, so this is from Bill Bryson's book about Ruth. She was 13 years his junior and not notably attracted to him. But when, after their third or fourth date, he offered her a gumball-sized engagement ring, her modest defenses crumbled. She later explained helplessly to a friend, "I just couldn't give up that ring."
Hang on, I need to do some maths here. She's 13 years his junior.
Yes.
And his fiancée had died 15 years prior, and he was 44 when he died.
Yes. 15. I think I don't know, I might have mucked those numbers up, but I think she was like 20 and he was 33 or something.
Okay.
She was working as a secretary.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, she obviously, she didn't.
In my head, she was like 12. And I was like, what the fuck? It could have just given her a gumball, you idiot.
It seems like.
Don't waste a diamond on a child.
But it does seem like the ring play was a big pull for.
Yeah.
He's just like, "I love you." She's like, "I love you too, ring."
Yeah.
Just kissing a ring. I know people like that.
They got married just 4 months later and moved into his house.
He's worried she's going to get over the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to do this quick.
You still like the ring, right?
She's going to look past the ring and see him and go, "Oh, God, no.
That's right.
Don't worry about it."
But despite marrying Ruth and having a daughter with her, Albert couldn't get over his first love, Jessie Gouchard.
That's fucking brutal.
It's pretty grim stuff.
That's awful.
According to a bio on Find a Grave by Linda Davis, his wife claimed that she was her husband's second choice as the love of her husband's life died years before, referring to Jessie, obviously. This reasoning was supported with him hanging a portrait of Jessie in their home, keeping memorabilia such as scrapbooks of their vacations, and naming his boat in honour of her. Daily, he wore a lapel pin with the initials JG inscribed on the back, and after their daughter was born, he spent his free time alone on the boat, named after his ex-fiancée.
Right. Now, it makes sense why they're sleeping in separate beds, because was he sleeping in one with Jessie?
He was sleeping, with the ashes of Jessie in an urn.
You stay over there. We're over here.
That's full on.
All of it's a lot, isn't it?
That's therapy.
Yeah.
Right there. I get a bit of therapy.
You want to honour the ones you've lost, of course.
Of course.
You don't want to forget.
But there's a respectful way to do that. And you don't have to marry 2 years later if you're
No.
If you're not ready.
If you're not ready, yeah.
And I sort of wonder, it goes like it's maybe a chicken or egg thing. Maybe if his new wife loved him back, maybe he wouldn't be he wouldn't be mourning the time when someone actually did love him so much.
So it's her fault.
No, I'm just wondering.
And I'm just deciphering what you're saying. It's Ruth's fault.
Well, you can reserve that. See what you think at the end, I guess.
Oh.
But anyway, it does not sound like it was a great marriage.
No.
It's a pretty sad state of affairs, really.
Yeah.
So the day after the murder, the New York Times ran a front page story headlined, "Art editor is slain in bed. Wife tied. Home searched. Motive mystifies police." They're just like, this is a confusing, baffling situation. What's happened here?
If I was walking past that newspaper, I wouldn't bother buying it because I think I've heard everything.
You've told me everything.
Quite a front page headline.
Thank you so much. Great. I know that story for free.
I'll be keeping my 5 cents. Thank you very much.
See you tomorrow.
According to Bryson, if you did, you would have missed this. According to Bryson, the story noted that a Dr. Vincent Juster from St. Mary Immaculate Hospital had examined Miss Snyder, Ruth,
He examined her.
Examined her and couldn't find any bump on her that would explain her 6 hours of unconsciousness. Indeed, he couldn't find any injuries on her at all. Perhaps he suggested tentatively it was the trauma of the event rather than actual injury that accounted for a prolonged collapse.
Oh, no.
But, you faint in fear or whatever. You're not out for 6 hours.
Yeah, but maybe it just becomes a nice sleep.
Yeah.
You kind of wake up and go, I can't be bothered dealing with this.
So
you roll over.
You fell in a nice nook.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, on some nice comfy...
You're warm.
You got a little blankie.
And you're like, if you're thinking, there's a giant around...
I'm just going to stay asleep.
I'm just going to stay asleep until I know the giant's gone.
You know the feeling of coming out of a general anaesthetic? Where you wake up but you're still kind of sleepy.
And you sort of have to will yourself back to reality.
Yeah. No, sometimes I'm usually fighting to go back to sleep.
No,
and the nurses are going, Jess, wake up. And I'm like, fuck off.
Jeez.
I'm warm and cozy. Leave me alone.
And it's at that point the doctor decides to come around and tell you what they've found. Hey, you won't remember anything I'm about to say, but I have to go. So what we found is cancer. And you're like, did they say it was? It wasn't? Like, what's happening? I was asleep.
And then back to
and
sleep
then they're
again.
gone. They're doing someone else's surgery.
And you never know what happened.
Yeah.
And all you heard was cancer.
Yeah.
And you're not sure if it was like your star sign.
He's just telling you his star sign. Yeah!
Buy lotto tickets.
I love it when Matt and I race to a joke.
That word means another thing.
I know he's a star sign.
Could it be the tropic? So this doesn't, the police are like, well, this is a bit strange.
Yeah.
No bumps. But it wasn't the only detail that wasn't adding up for the cops.
Oh, no.
As Bryson continues. For one thing, the Snyder house showed no sign of forced entry, and in any case, it was an oddly modest target for murderous jewel thieves. The detectives found it curious too that Albert Snyder had slept through a violent scuffle just outside his door, and the Snyder's 9-year-old daughter, Lorraine, in a room across the hall, also heard nothing. It also seems strange that burglars would break into a house and evidently pause to read an anarchist newspaper, the Italian newspaper, before placing it neatly on a table and proceeding upstairs.
Right.
Oddest of all, Mrs. Snyder's bed, the one from which she had arisen to investigate the noise in the hallway, was tidily made, as if it had not been slept in.
Oh, come on.
Oh, my God.
I mean, if that is a mistake, how stupid is that?
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, I was asleep in that bed right there.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, when I got up because I heard foreign men outside the door, I thought, well, I'd hate for them to see my bed unmade. It's a habit. I wake up, I just make the bed.
Yeah, autopilot. I might have even been out while I did it.
Lots of people say that. They say, make your bed first thing in the morning. And I do. It's a habit I have.
You've started the day with a win.
That's right. You come back to your bed late in the day, it's ready for you.
Well, when the cops asked her about this, she was unable to give an explanation, saying, I was concussed, I don't know. As the detectives puzzled over these anomalies, one of them idly lifted a corner of the mattress on Mrs. Snyder's bed and there revealed the jewels that she had reported stolen.
You dumb bitch. Sorry. Your face told me I'd gone too far there. And I do apologise.
Hey, look.
I do apologise.
Hey, we just want genuine reactions, that's all.
Well, my thought was, this poor woman's been framed. This poor lady. How dare you?
I stand by what I said. I just didn't like that I obviously, Matt didn't like it.
No, I think I loved it. I think I loved it. You don't understand my love face.
I don't.
It's... Normally I'm shocked. I'm shocked by how much I love something. That's fantastic.
That's why he gasps every time Dave walks into the room. I love
Those
him.
eyes.
I know. I'm used to it.
He does have big, beautiful blue eyes.
So yeah, it's obvious what's happened here.
Yes.
Some Italian anarchists have broken into their house.
Yeah.
Been a little bit tired. Mm-hmm. Haven't gone fully upstairs, so they've just sat in the lounge room for a little bit. They've hit the newspaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put the newspaper down. Gone upstairs. She's come out, heard them. They've hit her with something. She's been knocked out for 6 hours. A big man has come in and strangled and then bashed her husband. And then they've made the bed as an apology.
Yeah.
And then they felt guilty and said, actually, the stones we were about to steal, you can have those.
Hey,
And we'll see you later.
here's a couple extras.
Exactly. Have they checked? Is there extras?
Yeah, I don't even think they bothered checking.
Is there a tip?
Lazy police work.
Absolutely.
The 20s.
Yeah.
They don't police like that anymore.
Absolutely phoning it in.
Let
Were
me tell
phones
you.
invented?
No.
No.
Shitty ones.
Just using the cans. All pretty curious. Dave, I love your thoughts on it, but the police went in a different direction. Oh, what were your thoughts?
Dumb bitch.
Yeah, the police were more lined up with Jess. Their focus turned to Ruth Snyder. They listed all the things that didn't add up, and she replied by breaking down and confessing the crime.
Okay, so she's been framed, and now they've made her admit it.
Oh my God, yeah, they're
It's a stitch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying you've got to admit to it or we'll kill your kid.
Do you think they're in cahoots with the Italians and the cops are in cahoots?
Yes, and the giant man.
Yes.
The giant man.
Yeah, he was a giant Italian cop. That's what.
Whoa.
That's a big reveal.
He's the connection between the two groups.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny with these old stories where you hear different versions of it. I did read some that she was tight-lipped till later, but, I think one way or another, she admitted to it soon after being accused of it. But she said she did not do it alone, telling them that it was mainly the work of her secret lover, a man named Judd Gray.
She's a real piece of shit.
You hate her.
I hate her.
I still think she's innocent, and Judd Gray is quite the villain name.
Judd Gray, Mr. Gray.
But you remember, I mean, it's hard to know where the sympathies lies. The marriage was pretty grim. I don't know if this is the way out.
Oh, true. Yeah, he was still in love with his dead fiancée.
But she did get a gumball-sized ring.
That's pretty good. But it depends some gumballs are smaller than others. How big a gumball?
How long have they been sucking on it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want a fresh gumball. We want one of those novelty-sized ones.
A super sucker.
You know when you could get those,
it
was a ring lollipop? Like the lolly part was like a
From the same
diamond.
brand that did Push and Push Pop?
Yeah, probably. You'd get them in like in a party bag or something, and then you could wear it and walk around going.
Yeah, you could have slobber on your fingers.
Disgusting and fun.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty big, but I more tend to imagine in the 90s when we went to SeaWorld, my sister brought back a gobstopper that was like the size of a tennis ball.
Jesus.
And it would just sit on her desk in her
just lick
bedroom,
it.
and you'd lick a bit.
That's very
and then
strange,
put it back.
isn't it?
Because you can't put that in your mouth.
No, you have to lick it until it got small enough to go in your mouth. And I think it would take 6 months to eat this.
That's crazy.
When I said super sucker, what I meant to say was gobstopper. Neither word was right. But anyway.
Gobstopper's so dangerous. Don't give that to children.
Do you watch the movie? What was it called? But that was like murder was all based around this gobstopper stuck in the throat.
Was it just called Gobstopper?
Yeah, I think it was.
Maybe. And it was with like...
It was,
It was sort of like a teen movie.
Yes.
And then as a group of girls had to cover it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Gobstopper. Jawbreaker. Gobstopper movie is Jawbreaker.
Is that what they call them? There's another name for the same thing.
Yes, I think Jawbreaker's in it. What a funny name.
Yeah, Rose McGowan's in it.
Rose McGowan, that's right. Anyway, so...
Oh, fucking Judy Greer's in it. Judy Greer always plays a funny best friend.
Judy Greer.
You know Judy Greer.
Is she from Arrested Development?
Yeah. Judy
Greer.
Greer.
She's great. She's so funny.
She's so good.
Eyes up here. Because she has, in Arrested Development, her nipples are pointing like
That's
funny
right.
angles. Anyway, so Ruth Snyder has fingered Judd Gray, her secret lover.
Hey, we've all fingered a lover. What?
The police
have said, we don't need to know about this.
It's like, that's fine.
That's between you and Judd.
We're asking about
you and
your
Judd
husband.
and God. So the police arrest Ruth and then begin their search for Judd Gray. Okay, sure. But who is this Judd Gray character?
Oh, right. And why is she so quick to turn? Like, if it's really your lover, are you just not going to go down with the ship to protect your lover?
Come on, Ruth. The problem is the ship is named after her husband's ex.
I don't want to go down with the ship. I've had enough time with this lady. A portrait of her is in every room in my house.
I don't need to go down with her forever.
I have to look at her face when I'm on the toilet. It's weird.
I'm going to put a framed picture of you on the back of my toilet door.
I love that so much.
So we're making eye contact.
This one's for you, Dave.
And you cut out the eye hole so when Dave's ever around, he can actually just look.
Yeah, I'd prefer that.
Yeah. But in lieu of real Dave.
I need to pee. Can you come over?
Dave, I can't do it without you.
Please, just this once.
You know it dries me up without having your eyes on me. That's a bit weird.
It's okay.
Okay.
We can try again next time. There'll be a better joke next time.
So Judd Gray.
Yes.
Judd Gray.
Like I mentioned earlier, the marriage between Albert and Ruth wasn't a particularly happy one. They were not a good match, potentially because they were in different stages of their life. Albert wanted the quiet life of a middle-aged man. You know, he was towards his mid-30s by this stage.
Yeah.
He's old.
He's
Anyone
old.
in their mid-30s, disgusting.
Disgusting.
Into his 40s, you know, by the end of
Oh
their
my God,
marriage.
40s?
It's over.
And
Sure, at that stage, you just like get the walker out, put me in front of TV, and I'm in bed at 4 p.m. You know, like in your 40s.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ruth, on the other hand, she's in her 20s and she wants to party. It's the 20s.
The 20s.
Flappers. It's women are starting to get out there and, you know,
And flap.
and flap.
You're in
flap
your
about.
20s, in the 20s.
You know, like a bird inside a library or a classroom.
Yeah.
They're panicking. They can't get out.
Women.
Always be panicking. That's a classic Joss.
That's a classic Joss.
That's a classic Joss Pockins bit. Who's my my cover band comedian act for Jess Perkins comedy.
Your tribute.
Joss Pockins. Why are there so many spoons?
Yep, that's
Why are
another-
the walls wet?
That's another good one.
Always be panicking. I don't do it. There's no context. It's just bits,
Yeah.
bits and pieces I remember.
You're my biggest fan. You remember more than I do.
So yeah, they're not a great match in different places in life. Also, there's the fact that he refused to take down the photos of his ex-fiancée. Perhaps part of the reason he held on to the love of Jessie, though, I guess, is, like I said, maybe he was missing the time that he was loved back. I don't know.
If you're lucky enough to love a Jessie in your life, you hold on to that forever. Let me
Yes.
tell you. Jessies love like no other.
Really?
Okay? They are a precious gift. Jessies.
Yes.
Do you get it?
I do.
Do you get it because it's like my name?
Oh.
Yeah. I was talking about myself.
Oh my god. So the marriage is dragging on. You know, it's,
Dragging on.
Do you feel like this marriage is dragging on?
God, this marriage is dragging. What's it been? 3?
Oh.
It feels like 30.
Whoa.
Jesus, this is dragging.
but yeah, they're pretty deep in. They're quite a few years in when Judd Gray enters the story. According to Bryson, Ruth took to going out alone. In 1925, in a cafe in Manhattan, she met Judd Gray, a travelling salesman for the Bien Jolie Corset Company, and they began a relationship.
No one's a traveling salesman. Every time a man is a traveling salesman in any kind of story, that's a lie, and he has a secret family.
Totally. Or you are the secret family.
Yes, that is correct.
No.
He is a genuine travelling salesman, but he also is married with a child when they meet.
Well, to be fair, so is she.
I wasn't going to mention that for... I'll talk about that now.
I'm so sorry.
No, I love it.
Because it's always, they always have a traveling salesman, but really it's just that they have a family. And
No, I've got to get out to a
Exactly.
job in Baltimore again.
they have to have a good excuse to not be around for a little
Jeez, there's a
while.
lot of sales in Baltimore.
Yeah, for corsets.
But really, their family lives like 4 suburbs over.
Yeah.
So Gray wore owlish spectacles. He sounds like he's or at least very much portrayed as a very meek man. Owlish spectacles, weighed just 120 pounds, and he called Ruth mummy.
Oh, yuck. What
Okay.
the fuck?
120 pounds.
Yeah, let's figure out what 120 pounds is, sorry. Because I'm seeing some
many days?
owlish glasses and a meek
Am
man.
I owlish?
Those glasses are.
This man's thinner than I. He's 54 kilos.
Oh, that's your comedy weight.
Yes. I'm about 8 kilos smaller than that these days.
That's not a bad thing, Dave.
I know it is, honestly. It's much healthier.
Yeah, that's very healthy.
I figured out my esophagus and I can eat better
That's
now.
a healthy range to
But
be in.
he
So,
yeah.
like, what the fuck is the point of having an affair with this meek little loser?
What? You've just said it looks like me.
I didn't say that. I
You've
just
just
said
said it looks like me.
round glasses and a thin little meek loser. That's all we've said. And I said, that's you. And who would have an affair with you is my question.
Well, I think some would argue. It's hard to know why for sure, and if this is all exactly how it happened. But like, she was sort of driving this relationship a bit more.
Yeah.
It's how it's portrayed.
And that could be her type.
Yeah,
It's just not my type.
he's
I like
younger.
a man's man.
Yeah. You like Albert Snyder,
Oh, yeah.
motorboat editor,
Yeah.
who sort of sulks on his boat.
I'd treat him good. He's named a boat after me. I'd look after him.
That's nice.
So, also, Dave, do you relate to this? He was also a Sunday school teacher, sang in the church choir,
La 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 la.
fundraised for the Red Cross,
on
and,
ya.
like Jess guessed, was happily married with a 10-year-old daughter.
He's not that happily if you're fucking around.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so happy. What? He's a piece of shit. A tiny little piece of shit that I could probably throw.
So
I could pick him up and throw him.
Do you think like Ruth saying he was involved?
No, is my guess. Or, yeah, no, I'm going to say no. I think Ruth, she's evil.
Because he's a small guy. He's certainly no giant Italian man, as she
True.
implied.
When police caught up with him, he was able to provide a watertight alibi, placing him 300 miles away in Syracuse. In fact, he was still there at the Hotel Onondaga when the cops caught up with him. When they accused him of being involved in the murder, he was incredulous. He wasn't a murderer. He'd never even received a speeding ticket.
Never even heard of murder.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I've murdered before. On the record, I've done time, but never sped. Always leave the scene very slowly.
If somebody is accusing you of drag racing and you say, no, that's ridiculous, I've never even got a speeding ticket, that is in the same realm. That makes a bit more sense.
I think
murder, I've never even got a speeding ticket. What are you talking about?
I think he suggests, sometimes I say, I've never even had a library fine. I'm
a good boy.
I never do anything wrong.
Yeah, like Dave. Good boy.
And he also said, and besides, I've been at this hotel all weekend and, there's witnesses. People have seen me, ask anyone.
Ask anyone. Hey, have you seen this man? I'm sorry, I'm just checking in. Okay, fine. Ask someone else. Anyone else here?
Bad example.
Okay.
So the cops go, all right, do you mind if we search the room? He's like, fine. So they search the room.
Oh, don't tell me they also found the jewels that were also under her bed. Somehow under his bed as well.
Yeah, they'd been moved. She quickly moved them in time. No, but the police found a train ticket that showed Gray had in fact gone back to New York City in time to commit the murder.
Oh, what is these people?
That's right. He left a key bit of evidence right there in his hotel room waste paper basket. He's like, all right, get rid of that evidence.
Rip it up. Chuck it in a public bin.
Yeah, don't take it all the way home. Like, he had to put that in his pocket. Like, leave the train station, chuck it in the bin then. We got a couple of hapless crooks
Was
here.
Albert rich or something?
Not particularly.
Then what the fuck's in it for this guy? I'm just thinking, get rid of him, get his money. I'm thinking maybe that's the motivation.
Because you're already married. It's not like you're killing him so you can marry her, unless you're going to kill your family too, which is maybe the plan. I don't know.
What the fuck?
But what's the motive for him? You're right.
It can't be that you love Ruth. She sounds like a psycho.
Well, when confronted with the ticket, Gray confessed as well. According to Bryson, upon learning that Mrs. Snyder was blaming him for everything, he hotly insisted that she was the mastermind and had blackmailed him into cooperating by threatening to expose his faithlessness to his loving wife. It was clear that he and Mrs. Snyder were not going to be friends again. They've gone like hot, passionate love affair.
Jesus.
As soon as they've been like their plan got foiled so quickly, like either within hours or a couple of days, depending on who you read, but they instantly are like,
it's off.
He did it.
And they're just pointing the finger at each other.
It's a bit like how our friendship started.
Yeah.
Really hot and heavy.
It's in the reverse, actually, because we were fingering each other. No, that didn't work. I was meant to say that we started like we were accusing each other, but I accidentally did the fingering thing again, which made it weird.
You keep accidentally fingering.
What are these things like?
Keep them to yourself, mate.
Like I'm just sort of gesticulating with my eyes. Oh, not again.
Not again.
So yeah, this investigation was the cops arrived and they're like, this is confusing. Then so quickly the crime unraveled and they're like, oh.
This is actually really easy.
This is quite an easy one.
This is actually boring for us.
Yeah, I'm not really having to investigate much. It seems to be actually quite easy.
Well, it was kind of novel. I'll talk about it soon, but things didn't get solved that much back then.
Right.
So this was pretty novel, and America soon became obsessed with the case. This is in part due to it being a golden age for newspapers, as well as the recent rise of the tabloid newspaper. Apparently it had been big in England for maybe 25 years or something.
God, they do tabloids well.
And no one had really thought to do it in America until a couple of guys from a big media family served time in England, and they're like, oh, these papers are really popular over here, and they brought them back. And they started one up in New York, and then they became really popular. According to Bryson, tabloids focused on crime, sport, and celebrity gossip, and in doing so gave all three an importance considerably beyond any they'd enjoyed before. This is what I found really interesting. I kind of always assumed crime would have been a big focus in newspapers. But a study in 1927 showed that tabloids devoted between a quarter and a third of their space to crime reports, up to 10 times more than the serious papers did. Isn't that wild?
Wow.
So before, tabloids really changed the game, according to Bill Bryson. It was because of their influence that the quiet but messy murder of a man like Albert Snyder could become national news. So it's just a bit of a timing thing as well. Tabloids were selling so many copies that it became a point of concern for traditional newspaper publications. And according to Bryson, most of these, the traditionals, responded by becoming conspicuously more like tabloids themselves. Even the New York Times found room for plenty of juicy stories throughout the decade and covered them with prose that was often nearly as feverish. So now when a murder like that of Albert Snyder came along, the result across all newspapers was something like a frenzy. So they become obsessed with it. And which is, it's all pretty wild. This possibly had something to do with the fact that the perpetrators were so inept at crime that they were caught not only quickly, but at all.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, that wasn't the norm at the time.
Yeah.
So it was actually pretty easy to get away with it. They were just really bad.
Yes, exactly.
How embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. And I think there is an appeal to the general public of hapless criminals. I mean, we love a hapless crook.
Yeah.
So, the fact that they've been caught so easily, just like the first sign of pressure, they've done a bad job of covering it up, and the first question, they just go, yeah, all right, I did it.
Yeah.
It was me, and I'll tell you who else did it.
Yeah.
So you can jail them as well.
Because it's like, I think probably at both ends, there's the really mysterious ones, the ones where people want to crack it. There's all these clues and they can't figure out, the Zodiac Killer or the Jack the Ripper and those sort of things. People become obsessed with that side of it.
There was that murder in the hotel room and nobody could figure it out, and
Whereas this one, it's one of the rare ones where they're like, oh, we know the characters and we can go back through their life stories and we can, it's like a soap opera playing out.
Yes.
Which is, and quite a new thing at this point because newspapers wouldn't normally go all in like this. But Bryson sort of breaks down some of the numbers about how crimes didn't get solved that much at the time, writing, New York recorded 372 murders in 1927. In 115 of those cases, no one was arrested. Where arrests were made, the conviction rate was less than 20%. So about 2/3 or so, a bit more, there was an arrest, but only 20% of those ended up. So it's like quite a small portion of murderers got done for it, assuming that they were correctly convicted.
Yeah.
Nationally, according to a survey made by the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, 2/3 of America's murders were unsolved in 1927. 2/3.
Whoa.
Chicago in a typical year experienced between 450 and 500 murders and managed to solve far fewer than a quarter of them. Altogether, 9/10 of all serious crime in America went unpunished, according to the survey. Bryson also points out it's interesting that the best data he could find from that time was from an insurance company, not from any police records.
Yeah.
They don't even keep good data.
Yeah.
So the fact that the killers confessed and then all the sort of details were there for the media to sift through, and on top of the fact that they were starting to realise that crime coverage helped sell papers, meant that the media really went to town on this story. They just went all in. The case took up more space in papers than any other crime of the decade and wasn't overtaken until the kidnapping of Lindbergh's baby in 1935. So it's interesting.
It was a crime or trial of the century.
Yeah.
This was, and I'll mention it later, but this was also referred to as the crime of the century, even though it's kind of like a not dull, but it's just like, two people that no one had heard of.
Yeah.
And it was a really sloppily done murder and all this sort of stuff. But because of the attention it got.
It does sound a bit like if they had just shut the hell up, they probably still could have got away with it. Because back then they couldn't get anyone for anything.
Yeah.
Just hide the jewels better.
Yeah.
Mess up your bed a little bit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Get rid of the train ticket.
Yeah, that one. Like, throw it out in the bin as soon as you get off the train. Nobody's going to find that then.
Because they were in a time where no CCTV footage, no DNA, no fingerprints. You don't have to do much. You just don't have to tell on yourself.
Oh, so stupid.
But anyway, I think it's good that murderers got caught. You know.
I think that's true. Yeah, I like that happened.
I still think they might have been framed.
Yes. Yeah. Like, who's this silly?
Exactly. It's so stupid that no one would have done it.
Yeah.
According to Bryson, a journalist named Silas Bent made a careful measurement of column inches and found that the Snyder Gray affair received more coverage than the sinking of the Titanic.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Isn't it? Because it's like one of these, the Titanic will be forever, world famous.
Yes.
Or at least, in our lifetime.
Do you think the movie helped?
I think the movie probably did help, but I'd heard of it before that.
Yeah, still. And also, this is one person dying. Like the Titanic's like over 700 people dying, all with different backstories. And a lot of famous people died too, very wealthy, well-known people.
Yeah.
And then people with family and friends on there, of course. It's amazing that this would have more intrigue.
Yep.
Because I like, it just hasn't hung around as a big story, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd never heard of it. Had you either heard of it?
No.
I don't think it's particularly famous anymore, but I'll mention a bit later on that it did inspire a bunch of like crime fiction and stuff as well. But anyway, wild stuff. More coverage than Titanic blew my mind.
That's amazing.
So they were arrested, and it all happened pretty quickly. They were put on trial a little over a month later. Apparently, justice was swift back then.
Yeah, especially if you're like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah. Okay, I did it.
All right.
All the media coverage led to an almost festive atmosphere at the Queen's County Courthouse.
Joy to the war.
It's, bizarre. According to Bryson, 130 newspapers from across the nation and as far afield as Norway sent reporters. Western Union installed the biggest switchboard it had ever built, bigger than any used for a presidential convention or World Series. Outside the courthouse, lunch wagons set up along the curb, and souvenir sellers sold tie pins in the shape of sash weights for 10 cents each. The murder weapon.
That's fucked.
Isn't that like...
That's crazy.
When I said festive, you're like, oh, you're overselling that.
Food trucks are turning up.
Food trucks and souvenirs?
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, it's a festival.
People are doing bootleg merch.
Yeah.
Buy the murder weapon.
That's amazing.
So strange.
Here's the train ticket that you should have thrown away.
Yeah, just really odd. Everything about this story is hard to get my head around.
Yeah.
But there were so many people turning up to witness the proceedings during the 3-week trial that many had to be turned away. And apparently, rather than heading home, they just stand outside and just sort of like huddle around. It feels like it's the World Cup or...
Yeah, or they watch it on the big screen.
Yeah, exactly. Only there was no big screen. Bill Bryson talks about it like they were staring at the building, just imagining what was happening inside. Just happy to know that they were near it.
Hey, what do you think's happening in there right now?
Yeah.
People are so weird. I know. But like, you look at some of the things humans do and you go, we're so funny and silly and cute sometimes. And then other times you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's just stand outside a building where something might be happening.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Go touch grass.
I think about it all the time. You said to me years ago, you're like, isn't it? It's so weird. You made it the point about money. It's like, this is just made up. We evolved from monkeys, and eventually we start saying this paper means something.
Yeah.
And I always had that thought when I was at over the summer. I was lining up to go on Dodgem cars at a fair. I'm like, this is what we've done with our big brains.
Oh my God, yes.
So weird.
So weird. I always think about this late at night. The other night, I was lying in bed and we were talking about whether we thought there was life out there. And I was like, we can't possibly be the only planet ever to have sustained life, and this is all we've done with it. We live in a little box and we pay all this tax, and who the fuck thought of roads, and what are we doing? I was like, this is the best it can be. That's so weird. Anyway, it's a great thing to think about right before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Just an existential dread of
living in a little box.
We've made it all up. Money's just made up. But we're bloody governed by it, aren't we?
And it's just so funny to think you drive to a place to go and be in pretend little cars that bump into each other. You're like,
what am I doing? Yeah, I could just crash into cars in my actual car.
I got here in a real car.
Yeah, it is strange. So it's video games. What am I doing? So much of me playing The Sims is me
you recreate your life on there, don't you?
I recreate my life, or every time I'm I'm going to do something crazy this time, and then I always end up they find someone, they get married, they have some kids, they never go on holiday. They can, but they don't. And
Why do you let them go on holiday?
I'm too focused on them getting promotions.
Yes, I mean...
Or like raising the kids, because that actually takes a fair bit of work.
This is just life.
It's so
funny
sad.
That's life, but you
can do literally anything.
But isn't it funny that you left that kind of life yourself, but when you're playing a fantasy game, you're putting yourself back into it?
Yeah.
Gotta get that.
Well, there isn't like a podcasting career on The Sims, so otherwise...
But how many separate farming games do you have?
A few.
I was thinking about you leaving radio, but yeah, that's true. It's sort of this, you left even like before that, you were working in big corporations, but I guess Triple J is part of a big...
Yeah. I had office jobs.
But there's a ladder and you're like, I'm not going to do that anymore in all your jobs. And you're just floating around now.
What am I doing?
Basically in the bumper cars of life.
But don't worry, the thing that ties you down is your Sims job in the accounting firm.
Yes.
And if they keep working really hard, they might not get looked over for promotion this time. Okay?
They have to go home and play chess to increase their logic skill so they can get a promotion.
They're like, I just want to go to bed or
No,
go on a
you
holiday.
must play chess for 8 hours to get the skill up. It's very sad.
But is it not more fun for you to go on holiday with them, or do you not see them go on holiday?
Of course it is. No, you go with them.
Oh, that's fun.
You can go to the beach. You can go to the snow. It's lovely.
You can go on the Dodgem cars.
Jess, can you go home tonight? Give them a fucking holiday.
Yeah.
Please.
They're trapped in the machine.
What a sad life. Mine, I mean.
They're doing fine.
They're doing great.
So
what caused this breakdown in us?
People are standing outside a courtroom imagining what's happening in there.
I'm back there.
Everything's made up.
They're buying little murder weapon souvenirs and, and a hot dog. It's going, a couple of murders in there, allegedly. Oh, they've admitted it.
I got extra mustard.
Wild.
So if you were lucky enough to score a seat on any given day, and apparently like notable people from, like aristocracy and the highfalutin and actors and all these sorts of celebrities would go in and sit in and watch the court cases. Nearly all the names I didn't recognise, but, they were...
You want to be on a media list for that one.
Yeah.
Hey, can you get me into that trial? What's wrong with you
And then
people?
just sit there.
Well, you sit there, you take it all in, and then you're also rewarded at the end of each day...
With a free hat pin.
...by being able to go up and inspect the murder weapons. So at the end of the day, the trial, at the end of each day, everyone in there could go, form a line, go have a look. Oh, there's the sash weight, there's the wire, there's the chloroform cloth, which was involved as well.
What the hell?
You do a little,
that's interesting.
Little excursion.
Yeah, it's sort of it's like a little museum.
What a strange time.
But I mean, I get it at the same time. Like, we're talking about it because it is interesting, but it's, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it's distance that makes it less full on.
It just feels like poor taste even
We got
back then.
nearly 100 years of space, but...
I mean, I am reflecting on the time that in Scotland we went to the Anatomy Museum just so we could look at a book.
We went along with you because you wanted to. I did not want to.
I did not like that book. I did not like that place.
You wanted to go there, though.
That place spooked me. I didn't like it.
There was an Irish pub around the corner, Dave. I said, I'll meet you there. And he said, you'll come along right now,
We went to
young
a
man.
cafe after that.
Anyway,
Got a
there
coffee.
was
That was
a
good.
book made of skin belonging to Burke and or Hare, and I looked at that, and I did feel a bit weird about it afterwards. So maybe these celebrities are also feeling the same thing, looking at it and thinking, I don't know what I expected to feel.
Yeah.
I think I do remember being like, hey, I guess that'd be interesting, and then getting there and being like, I don't like this place.
It's weird.
I don't like that book. That's gross.
But there's something fascinating about the concept.
Yeah,
and then you get there and you think,
I mean, all of this, it's all very contradictory things where I'd be like, I feel weird about this, I feel conflicted, but I am also fascinated, and I guess true crime stuff is so popular.
Yeah.
huge.
Because
Still huge.
there's just like a human interest in this stuff for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into what was revealed during the court proceedings, apart from what I've already told you, because a lot of the story I've told you did come out. The extra details I've been telling you about came out in the court proceedings. Sure. There are no big twists or anything, so let me tell you that straight up. But I'll fill you in on some of the extra details. So as we know, Ruth and Albert were not enjoying a happy marriage. Divorce was legal and not even uncommon in New York in the 20s. All the same, Ruth decided to murder him instead.
It was less paperwork.
I'd kill you instead of leaving the podcast.
Okay.
I'd just kill Dave.
It's because I'm the problem so you can get to keep going? Is that the problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt and I can be very happy without you.
Yeah, so
I would never
honestly,
kill you,
if I
Dave.
had the choice, I would rather just leave the podcast and get murdered, to be honest.
I want to go on the record and say that was a joke and I would never, ever murder you.
Okay,
Ever.
Great. And Matt's silence is deafening.
You're going to kill us both.
It was becoming more common. Like, it wasn't common, but it was coming more common, divorce. According to Business Insider, in the next couple of years, there are about 200,000 divorces in the US. So, it wasn't like there's no way out of this marriage.
It wasn't super taboo.
Yeah. But yeah, Ruth decided to go in a different direction.
Well, Ruth, she walks to the beat of her own drum.
The plan really got going when she was able to get Albert to sign. You were talking about motive before. She got Albert to sign, or some places say she forged, but a life insurance policy with a double indemnity clause. This is a term I've heard a bit. Never knew what it meant, but apparently, do you know what it means?
No.
Yeah, but please tell me.
For the listeners who may not know.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So when a life insurance policy will pay out twice the value if the death results from an unnatural or accidental death or murder type death rather than a health problem. That's what a double indemnity is. So in this case, it would have paid out if he died, of natural causes. It would have paid out 48 grand. But the double indemnity clause meant it would pay out nearly 100 grand.
Whoa.
If it was murder.
If it was murder, say, or he fell off a cliff or whatever.
That's a really, really bad model.
What a strange model.
To include murder.
Yeah, that's right.
But then I suppose, if he's
but you're
murdered by someone else.
Yeah, stranger or whatever, that is why it makes sense.
Or if he does fall off a cliff or get hit by a train or something.
Yeah. But why double anyway?
Why double? Just you can make it a bit more.
But either way, is that paying extra for the extra trauma or?
I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's not. It feels not super thought through.
I guess it's because it's like they look at the maths of it all and go, well, most people die from a health condition. Not that many people on paper get murdered or fall off a cliff, so they can afford to pay out more for those sort of things.
And they charge more for that premium.
And if if I'm going to die of a health thing, it's probably when I'm 75 years old, so I don't need to provide for my family. But if I get murdered, I could be, 36 or whatever he was.
Yeah, 44.
So you need to pay a bit more. So I think,
and they got a 9-year-old,
but
you want to make sure the kid's okay.
It does feel. I'm hoping that there's some sort of clause where if you are found to be the murderer, you don't get the money.
That is correct.
Okay,
yes,
great, because that would really otherwise be a bit dodgy.
But still, you would go for contract killers and hope that doesn't come back to you and stuff. There's other ways. Oh boy,
it's funny. There was a bit of a hit, maybe on Netflix. Like a Netflix movie about a hitman, maybe called Hitman.
Yes.
And apparently in the promotion of that, maybe the actor or someone was talking about it, like they don't really exist in the real world.
Yeah.
Hitman, which I'm like, is that true?
Yeah.
But apparently because of fiction and stuff, people just think there are people out there you can pay. I'm like, it does seem weird. $5,000? You're putting...
Yeah.
You're risking a lot, yeah.
Yeah, in America, certain states, you're literally risking your own life.
Yeah.
And I guess you are risking your life when you're taking a weapon in to kill someone. It could go wrong. But anyway, apparently that's all just a bit of a myth.
Yeah, and so I watched that movie and they say that in the movie and I was still like, nah, that's not true. They must be real.
Of course they say that.
Of course they want us to say it. They want us to think there aren't hitmen, but there are hitmen.
Yeah.
So then I don't expect a hitman.
Exactly. I mean, who's Jason Statham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? You think Jason Statham just exists in the world?
Yeah, acting or whatever. Come on.
Whatever, mate.
So yeah, $100,000 about 100 grand.
That's a lot in the 20s. That's a lot now.
It's up towards $2 million today.
Whoa.
Great.
So the next step was for him to be killed.
Oh.
So step one, got either forged or got him to sign, tricked him into signing a thing. Yeah, this will be good. I'll do one too. We'll both do it. So using the sash weight wasn't her first option. Not by a long shot. Apparently, the successful attempt was her 7th or 8th. She'd been trying for a year or so.
To kill him.
To kill him, yep.
Oh, wow.
And he hadn't realised she was trying to kill him?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure who that's more embarrassing for.
I think it's actually her because she's doing such a bad job. He doesn't even know he's being murdered.
Like a gun goes off. He's like, "Oh, sorry, did you hear something?"
I dropped something. Sorry, I dropped the stapler.
He did his shoelace up at the time. Oh, great. Not again.
It's so embarrassing that she's been trying to kill him all this time, but she just can't kill him.
Love, I'll have to bloody sue Suzuki. Just went out to the car, the brakes were cut. Can you believe it? We had a service 3 months ago.
Luckily, I was able to roll it to a stop up a hill.
Fantastic. Those bloody buffoons down at Suzuki. Tell you what.
She's like,
they'll be hearing a lot from me.
So as I learnt, I think last year on Great Australian Murder Mystery Comedy Deadlock, women kill with poison. And this is how she tried the first 7 or 8 times. She tried rat poison. Suggesting it would help his hiccups. I'm guessing she probably decanted it first.
Oh, right. It wasn't like, take
this rat poison.
Yeah.
That'll help your hiccups.
She crushed sleeping pills into his nightly whiskey. Even tried gassing him. So she was trying different kinds of poison.
My God.
So I think, he got violently ill at times, but he never died. He just would not go down.
He's invincible.
Yeah. There's been a couple of... It was reminding me, was it Michael Malloy? Maybe Jess or Dave?
Yeah.
That's where they kept poisoning him and he just kept turning up at the bar.
He was being hit by a truck. And
and he'd walk back in and they're like, what the hell?
And you did a live episode about an unkillable soldier?
Yeah.
An unkillable soldier, he was shot 8 times.
So yeah, this guy's the third in the trilogy of unkillable. well, eventually he was killable.
I mean, they've all died at some point.
That's right. They're all dead now.
Yeah, they're not actually invincible, but they what's the word? Escaped death a few times.
Yes. Depending on which one of the two you spoke to during the trial, one was doing, driving all of this poisoning.
Please, Ruth's driving it.
Yeah. She's saying, no, Judd Gray, he sent me poison in the mail telling me to try that. And he's like, oh, no, I didn't.
Ooh.
I'm a little owl man.
Who would do that? Who?
Though I feel like, a small man, more likely to be the poison killer as well. Because I'm thinking, I'm not going to go in there and wrestle someone.
You're not going to overpower someone.
Exactly.
Unless it's like a small cat.
The way he tells it.
Even then.
Claws.
Yeah.
The way he tells it, she was suggesting, we've got to kill him for ages. We got to kill him. And he's like, oh, that'd be crazy. Let's not do that. And eventually she sort of wore him down. That's how he tells it.
Women, am I right?
Oh my God. She just
they will wear you down.
Honestly,
just at some point it just becomes easier to just agree and go along with it.
If it'll bloody shut you up.
You won't hear the end of it, let me tell you.
So together, they planned the perfect crime, as far as they thought anyway. But as we already know, it wasn't quite perfect.
It was a shit crime.
Gray took the train to Syracuse, where he checked into the hotel, making himself very conspicuous.
Hello!
It is I'm
here checking in.
Gray!
And I'm going to go. Twirling a fake mustache. I'm just going to go up to my room and stay there for 24 hours straight.
Could I have room service?
Fake mustache is such a funny detail for someone trying to be remembered. No, you did. No, he doesn't. The guy we saw had a mustache.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It is I, Judd Gray, checking in all weekend.
He's wearing the
certainly not going back to New York.
Oh my God, I need a break.
From the Big Apple.
He's honking a fake nose. Honk. Spraying water at the receptionist.
He's
he's dressed as a clown.
Nipple from where you were holding it?
Yes.
Trying to get on stage with the magician that night. Trying to be the volunteer from the audience. Oh, yeah. I'll volunteer. Everyone here, seen me. Judd,
hello, I'm Judd. Judd Gray.
Judd Gray, that's what they call me. It's my name.
It's my name, and
I certainly haven't just bludgeoned someone to death with a paperweight.
So yeah, he's like, people will remember me. I made a big splash.
People will remember. I was fucking rude. I asked to speak to 3 different managers.
But then that's in his mind. But then you remember he's like this real meek man.
Yeah.
And it flashes back and he's like, he knocks over like a paperweight on the reception desk. So yeah, they'll remember that. Have I hoot?
I actually thought the breakfast wasn't as good as last time I was here. Oh, sorry.
That'll get
Sorry.
him.
No, it was great, actually. It was fantastic.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
really sorry.
That was a beautiful breakfast. They actually didn't hear him at all.
Yeah.
So he checks in.
He can't even see over the desk. He's so sure. I'm sorry, sir. Is this
Sorry, little boy.
Were you saying something?
Do you need help finding your parents?
While he's trying to make a scene, someone comes through the front door and the breeze blows him away. It blows him off course. So yeah, he makes a big scene. Then he slips out quietly, heads back to the city, back to New York City. And he obviously made sure he held on to all train tickets for evidence to be used against him later.
For tax deductions.
According to Bryson, while he was away, he arranged for a friend to go to his hotel room, muss the bed, and otherwise make it look as if the room had been occupied. So he had some clever ideas as well.
Okay.
What was the word there? Must?
Muss, which I think is interesting. Muss the bed.
Wasn't it you said
like
muss?
mess, I guess.
Muss or musk? Like get in there and make it stink? Like
yeah.
someone slept in it?
Musk up that
Yeah,
bed.
musk it real good.
Is muss like past tense of mess?
Maybe.
Muss it up.
Muss
I
it
like
up.
it.
He also left the friend with letters to mail after his departure. His alibi securely in place, Gray then obviously went to Queen's Village. According to writer Troy Taylor, who's written a book about a few murder trials and whatnot, when he arrived, he walked around for an hour, stopping under streetlights to take drinks from his flask. It was almost as if he hoped to be spotted and arrested for breaking the law, because he was drinking in public and it was during Prohibition.
Right.
So the way Taylor's selling it is like he's gone, oh no, it'd be a real shame if I got busted before I arrived at the scene to kill someone.
Yeah, like...
He's trying to be bailed out by the cops for doing a
Oh
smaller
my God,
crime.
he's so scared of Ruth.
And he gets out of
He's
Ruth.
so pathetic.
I'm sorry. I just got busted. It's not my fault. I just
not
got
my
arrested.
fault.
I'm a bad boy. This is what happens. Get used to it.
I looked up muss, and it's to make someone's hair or clothing untidy or messy. The wind was mussing up his hair.
He was mussed by the wind. He was flying around, this guy.
Same as like ruffle or dishevel.
This guy lives must.
Oh my God.
Completely
He's
mussed.
just mussing from place to place.
Oh no, I've been mussed.
Well, you know those little willy willies that have like little bits of litter in it?
Yeah. Willy Willy must sound very strange.
Yeah.
Is that an Australian thing, Willy Willy?
Oh, I
I think
dunno.
it is. Anyway.
Like a tiny little cyclone.
Tiny tornado.
But no one paid attention to him, unfortunately. And finally, he had to enter the Snyder home. This is still with Taylor. He came in through the back door as he and Ruth had planned. The Snyder family was away at a party and would return late. Judd promised to hide in a spare room where Ruth had left the window weight. Also rubber gloves and chloroform, all the tools of murder. The family returned around 2 a.m. and Ruth opened the bedroom door a crack. "Are you in there, Bud, dear?" she whispered. So his nickname for her was Mummy or Mumsy.
Sorry.
And hers for him were Bud or Loverboy. Loverboy and Mumsy's so fun.
Bud is so patronising.
Yeah, Bud. Hey, all right, Bud.
You're good, bud?
But he calls her mummy?
Mummy or Mumsy.
Yes, mummy.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Strange old relationship.
Yuck. Dave, can you start calling me mummy?
Yuck. I hate it, Dave. Can you call
I
me?
hate it. I'm changing my name in the group chat.
Loverboy, can you call me Mummy?
You gotta call me lover boy.
Oh,
Sure thing, bud.
Bud, so patronising.
And she said, "Are you in there, buddy boy?" Whatever. That's what she
Hey,
said.
hey,
Yeah,
little
she said,
buddy.
"Are you in there, Bud, dear?"
Oh, mummy.
All set for the murder. Can
She's
mummy get
saying
you a
that-
drink?
She's saying that into a room.
Taylor makes it sound all pretty messed up, I guess. I mean, it is messed up. It's a murder. But so he continues saying, she soon returned after saying, "Are you in there, Bud?" Then she returned back to the spare room wearing only a slip, and the two had sex with her husband asleep just down the hallway. Finally, after about an hour, Gray grabbed the window sashway.
Oh my god!
Okay, we might have been wrong about Gray. This man's a
Oh
star.
my god! Hell yeah, brother! That's my bud.
Now you're starting to see a connection between you and
Yeah,
him.
I can see why it's called Lover Boy. My goodness.
Yeah, owl, the night owl. Up all night long.
And he's still calling her Mumsy.
Yeah.
Oh, Mumsy.
So after the hour, Gray grabs the window sash weight and Ruth led him to the master bedroom where Albert Snyder slept with the blankets up over his head, which is a weird detail.
It's a weird way to sleep. Too hot.
That's very hot.
I don't like that.
Taylor continues, the two of them stood on opposite sides of the bed, and then Gray raised the sash weight and brought it down clumsily onto Snyder's head. The weak blow merely glanced off the man's skull.
Oh, no.
And while stunned, he let out a roar and tried to seize his attacker. Apparently, it hit him so soft it just woke him up.
Like he's being tapped on the head.
Oh, my God.
Because he does, it's from, I mean, I'm still not entirely sure that where the truth lies.
Yeah.
But this seems to be the main story that's come out of it. He's this sort of weak guy, doesn't really want to do it. He's like, but he's doing it. She's telling him to. And, he just sort of.
He's so pathetic. But an absolute dynamo in the sack.
Crazy. I mean, he can barely lift his arms up. He's spent all his energy, my goodness. He's been going off down the hall.
That's horrific.
You'll hate this, Jess. So he's glanced at Albert's head with the weight, woken Albert up. Albert's trying to grab Judd, and Judd became terrified, letting out a whining scream, "Mumsy, Mumsy, for God's sake, help!"
Oh, disgusting.
What a fucking loser.
What an absolute loser. He can't even murder properly. Mumsy. Yuck.
From there, apparently, Ruth took the weight and finished off the job with one blow.
Of course she did. Because Ruth is a girl boss. Ruth gets shit done. She's a psycho, but, she gets results.
One blow.
Yes.
You remember he said that the paperweight was not the first choice of weapon?
Sash weight. I don't know
Sorry,
what it is.
I keep saying paperweight because it's something I've actually heard of. The sash weight. But then it ended up, sounds like it was the first thing that they bashed him with. Was she thinking about trying a hammer or something else? Or?
Oh, no, all the poison.
I'm
Sorry.
with you now. Sorry, I'm with you. Yes.
Like it's a big sort
Jess
of.
is showing us a picture of a.
I'm
it does look like
what a sash weight is. Yeah, like a bit pretty
it looks
solid,
almost like a stick of dynamite sized thing, but of metal.
But just solid metal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
solid metal,
that would
and
be
then
pretty
I
heavy.
imagine that there's like a little ring, like metal attachment to attach to the curtain, so you probably grip it like that and just like nunchuck onto his head.
Yes. Whereas you're picturing Gray doing like a Mr. Burns thrashing of a lifetime.
Yes.
Oh, he's so pathetic.
Oh, Mumsy, for
help
God's sake,
me.
for God's sake,
Ah,
please.
I'm frightened. Yuck.
So yes, she kills her husband with one blow, supposedly. Then, according to Bryson, she and Gray then stuffed chloroform up Snyder's nostrils and strangled him with picture wire, which she had also laid in. So, I don't know, like really making sure of it, I guess.
Yeah.
They then turned out drawers and cupboards all over the house to make it look as if it had been ransacked. It appears not to have occurred to either of them that it would have been a good idea to make Ruth's bed look slept in. So this is one of the big oversights.
Oh my God, Ruth.
Gray loosely tied Ruth around the ankles and wrists and arranged her comfortably on the floor. In what he considered his most cunning touch, Gray left the Italian newspaper on the table downstairs so that the police would conclude that the intruders were alien subversives. It was like a big thing at the time where Italian anarchists were up to no good.
Right.
And I think some of that was real, but it also gave people this little boogeyman that they could go, oh, obviously this was some...
Obviously, it was an Italian.
Yeah.
That's strange.
When everything was in place, Gray kissed Ruth goodbye, then caught a taxi into the city and a train back to Syracuse. Apparently that taxi driver, he gave a really bad tip, and the taxi driver also came forward to the cops going, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, I definitely drove him back.
He's the real tight ass.
Yeah, that apparently because of the tight ass tip, he was like, yeah, I'll talk in court, whatever.
No worries, I'll make up stuff when I saw the murder. I saw him do it. Whatever, use a machete.
Yeah, is that what? You tell me what you want to say, I'll say it.
Because people who don't tip me, they deserve jail.
They deserve to die. Because that is if they get done for it, that is the punishment.
Wow.
Really, death penalty is very much on the table. Wow.
Yes. Back to Taylor. Minutes after Gray left, Ruth began banging on Lorraine's door, their daughter. The child ran out. I mean, just on top of everything else. They're doing this with
A 9-year-old.
The 9-year-old, just down the hall. So her daughter ran out, removed the gag from her mother's mouth. She told her to get help, and Lorraine ran next door to the neighbour's house where the police were called. And this takes us back to the beginning with Ruth telling the police that a giant speaking a foreign language had knocked her out.
Right, and she'd been asleep or unconscious for 6 hours.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently, I think during the whole thing, part of that 6 hours, her and Grace sat in the lounge room having a drink and chatting about the plan a bit more.
What if he woke up during any of that?
I think, strange.
Come downstairs. Hey, there's a lot of noise. Oh, hello. Who are you?
I think they'd killed him by the time they were having a drink. Killed him, went down, had a drink. What do we do next?
Have sex for another hour.
Should we have another sex session?
And he's like, I'm definitely up for it.
Because I got heaps to give.
Yeah.
I got heaps to give.
Have sex for another hour.
Oh, my God.
Should we have sex for another hour?
Should we kill an hour by having sex?
So in court, Snyder and Gray had separate lawyers representing them and both placed the blame with the other. Snyder and her lawyer claimed that Gray was the driving force. In return, Gray's lawyer laid it on so thick. Here's a quote from him. His client had been duped by a, quote, designing, deadly, conscienceless, abnormal woman, a human serpent, a human fiend in the disguise of a woman.
A human fiend?
A human fiend.
In the disguise of a woman.
Do you reckon
so
he was
women
riffing?
aren't humans?
So weird. A human fiend in the disguise of a woman. It's like a babushka doll sort of thing.
Yeah, imagine a human, but a woman. What are you talking about?
It's so weird. So yeah,
You've got time to prepare. Like, write something down.
There is part of me that, like, I mean, who knows without being there, but some of it I'm like, they've laid it on so thick, she's the devil. I'm like, where's the truth here? But obviously I don't think she's a good person.
No, I think she's awful.
The public's appetite for the trial was so large that even interesting side notes were reported. This is some of my favourite stuff from the whole story. For instance, they could read in the paper about how the judge was a dog lover. When he got home each night from court, he greeted his 125 pet dogs and personally fed them all.
Personally fed them all. Well, 125 dogs.
Like, you two are dog people. Is that a lot of dogs?
Yeah, that's a few.
That's too many dogs.
That's
about 124 too many dogs.
That's a full-time gig.
Imagine washing the dog bowls.
And I know this is probably pet insurance and stuff. Because sometimes I think it would be really nice to get Goose a friend. And then I remember that his pet insurance is more expensive than my health insurance, twice the amount. And I think we could double that again and get another one. Nah, that's okay.
What if you get double indemnity?
Double indemnity pet insurance.
Double dog indemnity.
Okay, what's too many dogs? I think.
Is it north or south of 125, firstly?
South.
South of 125. Okay.
I think 10 is insane.
Yeah.
120. Yeah, you're right. Anything more?
I can't even picture it.
10 on a farm or something.
Like, that's big for a pack of dogs.
Yeah.
You know, if wild dogs don't get around to that big.
How do you have a job?
Yeah.
How do you have time to go be a judge?
Like, even if you had them in like a paddock, imagine a paddock on a farm with 125 dogs.
It's too many dogs.
So you can't have them inside.
No.
Ever.
I love dogs, and I'd be like, that's too many, and I'm scared.
I think he had a big property. Like, he is a judge. I think he's pretty
You'd have
well-to-do.
to have a staff.
Which I assume he does, a dog staff.
Looking after the dogs. For what purpose? Just to have 125 dogs?
And would they be breeding? Maybe that's how it got to 125.
They just kept fucking. Do they know what's causing it?
He started with 2 dogs.
That's broken man.
Or is he hoping to make some sort of coat out of them?
Oh, Mr. Bernstyle.
Oh, yes. See my chest.
Yes.
No, see my vest. Sorry, that was a separate point. But have a look. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Now, we're all on social media, but Jess, you're the real queen amongst us. You've got the official tick these days. You're killing it on there. But let's be honest, social media, it ain't real.
What do you mean? All of my closest friends are on social media and all of them are in Europe.
But they can't all be in Europe. People are just putting their best selves on there. Mm-hmm. But it's hard sometimes when you're at home slubbing it on the couch. Someone's in Athens having the best time. Comparison, you compare yourself, it's the thief of joy. It's easy to envy other people's lives.
It is. You sit there going, what am I doing wrong? What could I be doing to make my life better?
Exactly. They look like they've got it all together, but really they don't. And Athens, it's fine. But the couch is also fine.
Couch is fine.
If you're having a hard time with social media, I think you've got two options. Either one, you throw your phone in the ocean and never think about it ever again. Or possibly you could look into therapy, help you focus on what you want instead of what others have so you can start living your best life.
Yeah, so if you're thinking of starting therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? It's entirely online. It's designed to be super convenient, very flexible, and you can fit it around your schedule.
Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/DGO and do that today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DGO.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether it's your first ever website or your business is expanding, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website and engage with your audience.
Sell exclusive content on your site by adding a paywall to sell memberships or courses, or sell files your customers can download like PDFs, musics, or ebooks. And yes, I said musics. That's the plural of music. Also, where I come from.
Also, books.
Okay, well, that's the plural of ebook. Dave, very quickly, what if you had to make an ebook? What would it be about?
From A to E, the best ebook there is.
God, he's good.
He's good. I put him on the spot there. People are going to think that was in a script.
It wasn't. That was improv.
But if I did need it to be scripted, I'd probably consult the good people at Squarespace AI, because you can get help with written content on your website with this fantastic feature, Squarespace AI. Generate instant personalized results that highlight your brand identity. What you do is you explain what your site is about, choose your tone, and enter what you need to get short or long form text. Bada bing, bada boom, Squarespace AI makes it easy to go live, stand out, and succeed online.
Can I just double check what identity means? And I only asked because you gave it to me before.
Yeah. All right, we'll read about it in my new ease book.
Hey, Squarespace also has the tools you need to create and sell your own online course and customize everything with next generation editing technology. Create engaging lessons your audiences will love, then set the price in that order. You can charge a one-time fee or sell subscriptions. Take what you know and turn it into income with Squarespace courses.
Okay, Matt, on the spot, what course are you teaching?
Spaghetti.
Okay.
I'm signing up.
Head to squarespace.com/dogoon for a free trial and to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/dogoon. Spaghetti.
Two other points in this sort of category that came out, just quirky facts that came out from the trial. Bryson writes that one of Ruth Snyder's lawyers, Dana Wallace, merited special attention for being the son of the owner of the Mary Celeste.
Oh.
The infamous cargo ship found drifting in the Atlantic in 1872 with its crew mysteriously vanished, which Jess did a block report on, I think, last year.
That's right.
Or Dave did. Jess is looking at me like she didn't. Meso was on it, I think.
I remember doing the episode. I don't remember who did the report.
I reckon Jess did it and Meso was a guest.
Quite possibly me, but it's, I mean, I know we've joked for a while that I don't really remember things, but I'm starting to actually be a bit concerned about it. Maybe it wasn't me, actually, because it's not coming up at all in my...
in your docs?
In my Google Docs.
Oh, my God, maybe it's me that's forgotten this time. Oh, Matt, was it you?
I'm confident it wasn't me, but we did do it though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty... Yes.
Did this report disappear?
Like, honest, I know, yeah, we joke a lot about how I don't remember anything, but I am starting to get quite concerned. Because Dave mentioned recently wanting to do John Dillinger, and somebody told us, I've done it. And I was like, have I?
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and I have, but that was only a couple of years ago. I don't remember. Couldn't tell you a single thing about John Dillinger. I'm concerned.
Yes, it was, if people want to hear it, it was episode 370. We don't know who did it, but...
What the hell?
Somebody did it.
Oh, that was a while ago then. That's like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And John Dillinger was further back.
Yeah, so it's all fine.
So anyway, that was another fun fact. And so every little...
Sorry, I've just confirmed it was a Jess report.
How? Okay. How did you... okay.
It's in our planner.
Wow.
Jess did 370.
But they basically any sort of tangential story that they could get out of it Oh, your lawyer is related to this person from infamous story?
Because people want to read about it.
The appetite was ravenous.
Yes.
This is probably my favourite one, though, as Bryson writes. Someone else noticed and solemnly reported that the ages of the jurors exactly added up to 500.
Oh, my God.
Hang on a second. Plus. 500.
My God.
What could it mean?
Why did they start adding ages together?
They're like checking everything out. So imagine they've also added up like their home addresses together, like the amount of things before they went, oh my God, stop the presses.
Oh my God, between their names they have every letter except Q, X and Y. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I think my favourite quote from all the coverage came from evangelist Sister Amy McPherson. According to Taylor, she received a large sum from the New York Evening Graphic to write up a piece on the sordid case and, did it in a very moralising sort of way. But my favourite line, which is quoted in nearly every piece of writing about this, she pleaded with young men in her piece to say, I want a wife like mother, not a red-hot cutie.
Matt.
I want a wife like mother.
Why are you trying to piss me off?
Not a
red-hot cutie.
Even though the killer was referred to as
Mumsy.
Yeah. But you don't want a mumsy. You want a mother.
I think you want a red-hot cutie.
Yeah.
The mumsy in this case is the murderer.
Yeah. She'll crush you.
That sucks.
She's literally a mother.
Marry someone like your mum, but not a cutie.
No.
Cop that, mum.
And that's offensive to me as a cutie.
Because all the stories were all selling her as like this hot seductress, Ruth.
Oh.
And there's I don't need to talk about her looks or whatever, but
bit of a fuggo.
No, she just looks like a normal
average woman from the 1920s.
Yeah, she just looks like a 1920s woman.
I'm looking her up. I bet she's an uggo.
No.
He's saying yes.
Ruth Snyder.
Is it Schneider?
Snyder.
Oh my goodness. Okay. SN.
I think he might have. I'm pretty sure that Albert might have anglicised it a little bit to make it seem less German. Yeah, she just looks like a.
Oh yeah, that's just a lady.
Just like a 1920s lady.
Good on you, Ruth.
But I think they're just trying to everything's sensationalised. Right. Everything's to a 0 to 100.
She's a red hot cutie.
She's not a woman. She's the hottest woman of all time. To me, it's so funny. Please, boys.
Please
say, I want a wife like mother, not a red-hot cutie.
So weird.
According to Bryson, by almost universal consent, Ruth Snyder was held to be the guilty party, Judd Gray the hapless dupe. Gray received so much mail, nearly all of it sympathetic, that it filled 2 neighbouring cells in the Queens County jailhouse.
Whoa.
The paper strove hard to portray Ruth Snyder as an evil temptress. The Mirror dubbed her the marble woman without a heart, while Gray was dubbed the putty man.
Oh, God.
So that was often how it was. She's the granite woman. She's made of stone.
Yeah.
No heart. He's putty, easily bending the way she wants him to.
He's pathetic.
Bryson continues. Elsewhere, she was called the human serpent, the ice woman, and in a moment of journalistic hyperventilation, the Swedish-Norwegian vampire. He's like, they were losing it.
We don't know if she's Swedish or Norwegian. She's very close to the border.
According to Davis, the jury took only 98 minutes before returning with a verdict of guilty, with both convicted of first-degree...
She said she did it. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to need an hour. We're going to need lunch. We're going to need lunch on this one.
They just really don't want to have to go back to work that day. Yeah. Let's drag this out a little. I clock off at 4.
They both admitted it. I mean, do we even need a jury? Did she obviously plead not guilty?
Oh, no, maybe they both pleaded not guilty. Otherwise, you wouldn't have needed that, would you?
Yeah, otherwise...
They must have been like, no, I'm not guilty. He did it.
Oh,
I'm not guilty. She did it.
Yeah.
I was there, but I didn't do it.
But the jury were like, they did it.
Yeah.
They both did it.
My God.
So both were convicted of first-degree premeditated murder, and the couple was sentenced to death in the electric chair at Sing Sing prison.
Whoa.
And it happened all very quickly. The executions took place on the 12th of January, 1928. According to Taylor, Gray sat smiling in his cell when the warden came for him. He had received a letter from his wife forgiving him. He told the warden that he was ready to go and that he had, quote, nothing to fear. Of Snyder, reports remembered that as she was being led to the electric chair, that she had said days before that God had forgiven her and that she hoped the world would too. Apparently, she spent a lot of her time writing. She wrote her memoirs, and depending on who you read, it was some pretty weird stuff. But I didn't read any of it, so I don't know.
Wow.
But the media wasn't done with its frenzy. They wanted a photo of the execution. Unfortunately for them, cameras were strictly prohibited. For all that's interesting, Katie Serena writes, while photography was usually prohibited in executions, Sing Sing guards took it especially seriously in Ruth's case. No member of the media would get in with a camera, and that much the guards were sure of. The editors of the New York Daily News knew that the Sing Sing guards were familiar with all of their reporters, so they outsourced. Tom Howard, a photographer for the Chicago Tribune, which owned the Daily News, agreed to go to Sing Sing as an undercover reporter.
Oh, my God.
As he made his way through security and into the execution chamber, he stepped carefully as he was carrying contraband that, if found, was certain to get him ejected or possibly arrested.
Put him in the chair.
Strapped to his right ankle was the reason for his careful footsteps. A custom single-use camera, a miniature version of a classic model, was neatly tucked beneath his pant cuff. A wide shutter release ran up his leg, the button within undetectable reach of his hand. Here's a photo of it.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
So we're looking at a photo of the camera strapped to his ankle, just poking up, just above.
It's pretty bulky
Just
still.
above the-
Yeah, like at the time it was miniature, but now that's like, you know, it's the size of a Rubik's Cube or something.
But presumably when he wants, he just has the pant, like the cuff goes over the top, but then he just
Yeah.
lifts it up for a second, takes a photo, and then puts the cuff over the top.
Wow.
That's right, yes. So, after Snyder was brought in, the small crowd watched as she was strapped to the chair. When it was turned on, Howard pointed his toe towards the chair and snapped a single photo. Though Ruth Snyder was dead, her photo lived on. The photo he took was angled slightly and it was blurry, but nonetheless priceless. I was going to show you, but you probably don't. Do you want to see it?
Oh, I've seen this before. I remember seeing and hearing about that he had a secret camera.
That's incredible.
It is a grim photo.
Yeah, show us, because I think when I Googled her before to look at her face, I think
Right.
I think I saw it and it's not as full on as I would have expected, maybe.
Because it's black and white and
Yeah,
blurry.
yeah. Wow.
I can't believe they're allowed to publish that.
I know. Front page is so gross.
It's very interesting.
Especially
we talked a lot about stuff like that in my journalism, law and ethics classes. Like the photo on the front of Time magazine of somebody plunging from the World Trade Center.
Oh, right.
Falling man.
Yeah. Talked about the ethics of that. It's very interesting. But yeah, it's crazy. Isn't it wild that they published that on the front page?
Especially when it's against the rules of having a photo in that. It feels like you could still get arrested post.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's like,
If we don't bust you-
you got away with it.
But he must have been paid well to risk it, I reckon.
He was given a $100 bonus,
Wow.
which I guess, was a good cash, but not.
Not life-changing
Yeah,
money.
if you went to jail and didn't get the photo and they were like, "Oh, we never told you to do that."
Yeah.
That was what he got for giving him a photo. The photo ends up getting used the morning after the execution. It was on the front page of the New York Daily News under the headline that simply read "Dead!" all caps exclamation mark.
Jesus.
The photo was instantly hailed as one of the most famous tabloid photo of the decade, and indeed it was. The photo itself, as hazy as it was shocking. The image of Ruth Snyder's fingers curled around the arms of the electric chair haunted audiences for years. I'm still reading from Katie Serena's article. Howard was given a $100 bonus for the photo, like I said, which caused a change in prison procedure. For decades after, anyone attending an execution was thoroughly searched before they were allowed into the room, with particular attention paid to pant legs.
Lift them up.
Show us your ankles. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I want to see.
And then the warden's like, cameras? What are you talking about?
Sorry, what? Finally, our mate Bill Bryson talks a bit about how much of an effect his murder and the trial had on pop culture, writing, "The Snyder case was clumsy and banal and didn't even hold out the promise of exciting courtroom revelations since both of the accused had already fully confessed. Yet it became known without any sense of hyperbole as the crime of the century and exerted a most extraordinary influence on popular culture, particularly on Hollywood, Broadway, and the more sensational end of light fiction. The film produced Adolf Zucker brought out a movie called The Woman Who Needed Killing. The title was later toned down, but
That's a full-on title.
full on.
The woman who deserved to die. Jesus.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Bit full-on.
And the journalist Sophie Treadwell, who had covered the trial for the Herald Tribune, wrote a play called Mackinac. Should have looked up the pronunciation of that. Mackinac or Mackinac, which enjoyed both critical and commercial success. And the part of Judd Gray in this production was played by a promising young actor named Clark Gable.
Wow.
The novelist James M. Cain. See, ring a bell, Dave?
Yeah.
He was taken with the case so much that he used it as the central plot device for 2 different books.
Whoa.
The Postman Always Rings Twice
He's one of
and
the-
Double Indemnity.
Oh.
He's like one of the hardboiled fiction
That's right.
guys.
Yeah, he was one of the ones who
Yeah.
helped sort of create it. So, yeah, I'd heard of both of those books, which is interesting. But the Double Indemnity one especially was influential because Billy Wilder made it into the artfully lit 1944 movie of the same name starring Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. This was the movie that created film noir and so became the template on which a generation of Hollywood melodramas was based. Isn't it wild? This unhappy marriage and this clumsy murder ended up being so influential. It created film noir.
This huge ripple effect.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's incredible.
Quite bizarre.
Yeah. So cool to be able to trace those things back a little bit too.
Yeah, like, isn't it like there's a cartoon version of Spider-Man that's film noir played by Nicolas Cage. That's because of this. Nicolas Cage plays a cartoon film noir Spider-Man.
It's one of his funniest roles.
Yeah, so that's the story of,
Whoa.
I think, what I'll probably call the murder of Albert Snyder. It was also known as the Sashwaite murder, but
Oh, interesting.
I think probably it was one journalist called it the dumbbell murder. He's like, because the murders were dumb.
So dumb.
Got him.
Yeah, he got him pretty good.
Maybe Sashwaite murder is good because I'd go, I don't know what that is.
What does that mean?
But I also don't know who Albert Snyder is, but I'd be like, no, I don't care. Because I don't know who Albert Snyder is.
Right.
What about the Albert Snyder murder? In brackets, you should care.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's just notes, just brainstorming.
Okay.
Just notes.
What a story.
It's an amazing, wild story. And the fact that, the media and the public at large, imagine gathering to look at the building they
Wild.
might be in.
And
Yeah.
when we were like 20-ish minutes in when we realised she'd confessed and there was no twists and everything, I was like, where's he going with this?
Yeah.
But it just kept like, what an incredible... And also, I mean, they've killed her husband, so their child is now an orphan.
Yes.
Awful for her.
Very quickly, that child's lost both parents.
Yes. So the child, people will probably be interested. His brother, Albert's brother.
Yep.
There were 2 that fought for custody, and her mum ended up winning custody.
Okay. So her grandmother
So she
raised
lived with
her.
her maternal grandmother.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tough for her.
Tough.
Oh, horrific.
So much
It's so famous.
Yes.
Yeah, like she wouldn't have been able to avoid it, and then knowing that she was sleeping nearby,
So traumatic.
everything about it, awful.
Just incredible. What a story.
I just clicked on Tom Howard, who took the photo. I'm not sure if you came across this. And
No.
this is from wikipedia.org, which is
Okay.
obviously a photography website.
Right,
So I'm not
yep.
sure the sources that they use on there, but it says personal
Cameras
life.
mostly.
Cameras talk. Picture paints 1,000 words.
He says Tom's
Is that right?
Yeah.
Tom Howard's grandson is George Wendt, who played Norm
Whoa!
on Cheers.
Norm.
And his great-grandson is actor and comedian Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I only just found out the other day
Whoa.
Jason Sudeikis' like uncle is George Wendt.
So they're
Wow.
related to this very famous photographer.
Isn't that cool?
Incredible.
Looked that up when I was rewatching Ted Lasso.
I hope George Wendt has been in a film noir.
Oh man,
Like, what?
that would just
Wouldn't that might implode the world.
yeah. That might be too much.
He could be a great hardboiled detective, though, George Wendt.
Yeah. Wow. My head's spinning a little from that story.
Yeah, just fascinating.
So fascinating. And can I just say, well told.
Well, my mate Bill helped out quite a lot.
Fucking Bill.
You love Bill.
I love
Forgot about Bill.
I love
That made
Bill.
me angry every time you said Bill Bryson.
But it does a little bit of it let in, right? And you're like, oh, maybe Bill knows a good tale.
Maybe
He's
Bill
all right.
can really spin a
He
yarn.
can spin a yarn.
That Bryson.
Well, that brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show. What a roller coaster ride that story was. But the next thing we do...
I feel nauseous.
Oh, my God.
Like how I feel when I get off a roller coaster.
Yeah, right.
I don't have the stomach for roller coasters.
Fun? Do you have a bit of fun too, or is it just nausea?
I have a bit of fun, but then I feel very sick.
I went to Luna Park not too long ago, and I remembered all over again. Fun parks. I love the roller coasters. I like the fast ones moving in sort of straight lines or curvy lines, but not the spinny ones.
Right.
Okay,
I did a spinny one, and I'm like, this isn't that fun. I just feel sick in the stomach. You know, you're just sitting there like face looking lifeless. I can just picture myself like waiting it out, you know?
Yeah.
And then you get off and you're like 10 minutes to feel normal again.
Yeah, I'm so glad I paid money for that.
We went on a ride together, about 18 months ago? We went to that music festival. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, which music festival? And which ride? No, I don't remember.
Was it you and me?
No. Was it in Adelaide?
No, this is I also went on in Adelaide, a great time. But in we were
Dave loves rides.
The festival where NoFX and Tism played.
Oh yeah, we did go to that, and we went on a ride there.
Yeah, did you? I thought that was together.
Yeah, probably.
I thought we had a great time. And,
we did,
Now I'm just hearing that you don't like spinning around because we span around together.
What
Did that mean nothing to you?
I mean, it depends. It depends on how they're spinning, I think, because I can't always tell by looking at them whether I like it or not. What was it? One that went like you went spinning and it went out. We sort of went on chains and it went out like this.
Yeah,
those are fun because you're sort of just going fast. Yeah, because you're going fast enough. I think that's fun.
And then I just remember over and over and over again the pre-recorded video said, "Scream if you want to go faster."
Yeah,
scream if you want to go faster. And I was thinking the poor operator has to hear this. Honestly, 40,000 times a day.
You'd go to sleep hearing that.
I'd fully forgotten about that. That was it. Tism played there as well.
Is it called Good Things, the festival?
Good Things. And we saw Regurgitator.
Yeah, that was great fun.
It's good fun. Good fun fest.
Great fun.
And remember it like it was yesterday.
Very fond. Very fond memories.
So Jess is feeling nauseous. I'm feeling excited. Dave is feeling hurt by my lack of memory. But come on. This brings us to everyone's favourite section of the show where we thank our great Patreon supporters. If you want to get involved, go to patreon.com/2GoOnPod. There's a bunch of different levels. The first one we work through, I mean, when I say there's a bunch of different levels, bunch of different rewards you get. Now, including, starting from this month, a fourth bonus episode exclusive to Patreon.
That's right. Do go D&D, standing for Do Go On Dungeons & Dragons, Do Go Dungeons & Dragon, something like that.
Yeah.
You understand what we're trying to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's us playing Dungeons & Dragons with Adam Carnivale.
It's really fun.
So much fun. So the first episode coming out this month is a long one. I think it goes like an hour and a half, and it's us relearning the rules.
Yes.
And also picking our characters.
Yeah, that's a fun process.
That was fun. Adam really guided us very well throughout it.
Gives you all the options of what the character's like, what their powers they've got, if they carry items, weapons. It's fun.
I honestly think we played Dungeons & Dragons very well.
Okay. I didn't expect the sentence to end there.
I think we had a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
If the parameters you're looking for are fun and laughter, then yeah, I think we played it incredibly well.
And I can't remember if I said this on pod, but a couple of days later, I had this thought. I'm like, I can't wait to watch the end of that show. And then I realized the show was the Dungeons and Dragons campaign that we were doing.
I can't wait to watch the end of that show. So many twists and turns.
Yeah, it was really great. Really well told.
Believable characters.
Your character early on said something that I've thought about ever since, and I'll be in the car at a traffic light and I'll just chuckle to myself thinking about it. So there is some fun stuff in there. Maybe if you're like a real diehard Dungeons and Dragons player, you'll definitely love it.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh, now this
is what I'm looking
how
for.
It's meant to be played.
Now this is dunging.
Definitely.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
I've realised now that I've never done it properly.
Yeah, so allow us to teach you.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited for that to come out because it was a lot of fun.
And there's a bunch of other things. There's a bonus report every month. There's we do a fun game each month. There's 4 episodes of different things. Phrasing the Bar's coming to an end. We're going to start up a new movie club after that. But you can also get shout outs. There's a level called the Sidney Schomburg level, gets you in the fact, quote, or question section, which is this very section. And it actually has a jingle go something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
Oh, just put a little bit of cream on top there.
That was vibrato. A little bit of vibrato.
Oh, vibrato. I don't
Yeah.
know the technical terms.
You always get vibrato and cream mixed up.
Yeah.
You're always like, can I have a scone with jam and vibrato?
Yes.
And I'm like, no, Matt.
When I hear vibrato, it makes me cream. That's where the confusion comes in. But I love a little bit of a warble, a little bit of a quiver.
Yes.
Oh, one of my favorite things.
Quiver.
To listen to a quiver. I love Hap, the singer for The Dead Salesman, has a great quiver, and it tickles the inside of my ear in a really nice way. Belinda Carlisle, another great quiverer. Or for now, I know it's a vibrato.
Correct.
So in this part of the show, people on the Sidney Schomburg level or above get to give us a fact, a quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever they like, and then I read them out. They also get to give themselves a title. The first one this week, of 4, is Libby Mason. I should say I don't read them out till I read them out, so that's just pre-apologising for any mistakes I make. And Libby's title is President of the Green Bean Team. Bracket, Libby's is a brand name of canned vegetables in the US.
Ah, cool. We
Close
salute you,
bracket.
Libby.
Oh, in that case, open hypotheses. What do they say?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. I knew they
Hypotheses.
It's the most fandangled word for bracket.
Yeah. Parentheses.
Parentheses.
Yeah.
Normally, like, America's really good at making language, like, available to everyone. You know, what do you call it?
Accessible.
Dumbing it down.
Democratizing it.
Okay.
Is that right?
No.
Democratizing it.
There we go.
That word could be fixed, America, if you don't mind getting
If you
onto
don't
that.
mind working on that.
But in this case, they've gone the other way around.
Yeah.
They've made it, like, harder.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Doesn't read these until he reads these out.
So Libby's asking us a question. Libby writes, what was the inspiration and or reasoning behind the 9 Do-Go-On minis? And can we look forward to anything similar in the future? Also, I love you all dearly, and I recommend the show to anyone who will listen. Thank you for your countless hours of amusing content. I'm on my 4th re-listen of the back catalogue.
Wow, Libby.
I thought Libby was going to say, I love you all dearly. I was expecting a butt. And I was like, no. I tensed.
Your
and I was
butt.
like, and I recommend it. I was
And
like,
you made an audible sound. I thought you were being like, oh, thank you. But you were being like,
that was fear. That was,
no.
And my butt clenching.
You were saying earlier before we started recording that you don't like horror movies for those tense tension and release things, and that, I mean, if you found that tense,
Yeah.
can only imagine like a full on horror moment.
Yeah, no.
What that would do to you.
No.
because do they do that in horror movies? I love you all. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
You know, they say that always before the kill.
Oh.
That's probably true. Any nice moment is about to
Actually
be.
true in a horror movie. Do Go On Minis. That was a web series that we recorded maybe 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, that we put out on Stupid Old Channel, where we basically did the format of the show where one of us picks a topic and researches it, but in video form.
Yep.
With animations from John, our Irish friend, who's a fantastic animator, and a great set that Stupid Old Studios built. And then we also just put out the audio of those for people who maybe don't want to watch the videos or want to listen while they're running or whatever. And I guess, the inspiration was to try something different with the videos.
Yeah, that was a great series. I liked doing that. The set looked awesome.
No, it was sort of fun, slightly smaller stories maybe.
Yeah.
Or like we could make them a bit more compact.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like there were stories that we probably couldn't get the full, what we usually get, an hour and a half report out of. But they were all interesting stories from all different parts of the world.
Yeah, it started with you told us the backstory of the Hollywood sign.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so we just had Blackbeard.
I was actually looking.
Government cheese.
I was on the YouTube, on the Stupid Old Channel last night looking at them. And it's funny because I had the thought, I'm like, it's funny that they have had way less views than a normal episode does because there was so much more effort goes into them, but that's just not what people want.
Which is why we ended up putting out as audio too, because it's like, well, obviously people like to listen to us, but not watch us as much.
And we're not going to take
misshapen heads.
Yeah, we're all misshapen. No, not all of us heads.
Oh,
but we are all in different ways misshapen.
We all have it a bit wrong.
Yeah. And you can decide.
They're up there forever on the Stupid Old channel, as well as our Do Go On quiz show, which is if you want to watch us as well as hear us. Hey, we got faces, and they work.
Yeah.
They talk.
Whoa.
There's a bunch of good stuff up on there. Game as well. The first season of The Beer Pioneer. It was funny just browsing through. I'm like, oh, so much good stuff up here. A few weeks ago on my channel, I put up a video of me thrusting in the studio. Just right where you're there now. I was thrusting away.
That's why this chair feels different.
I should try a seated thrust.
You should.
Let's just try one now. Oh, that's good because the wheels.
Yeah, you got.
Oh, wow.
This actually works quite
Oh,
nicely.
my God. An ergonomic thrust.
Thank you so much for that great question, Libby. Libby also says I should probably go catch up on Who Knew It and the Patreon episodes. But, you're just addicted to going through the main feed, and I think that's fair enough. XOXO.
XOXO to you too, Libby.
Gossip Bean.
Thanks so much, Libby. Thanks so much for putting Jess through that roller coaster there.
Oh, man, I've had too many roller coasters today. I'm going to be sick.
The next one comes from Joseph Nataro, first timer into the Fat Quarter Question Club, and Joseph has given himself the title of Senior Vice President of Struggling to Hear Dog Shit Riffs Over Road Noise. Oh no, I know what this will be about. This is my voice is lost in the road. But we've got AJ on the edits these days. Hopefully in the last year or so, my voice is a little bit more audible over the road noise, because that was one of our specific notes to him when he came on. I said, can you make me audible over a car engine?
And he said, yes, I can.
I said, thank you, little boy. Little boy from New Zealand.
He said, yes, I can.
That's how fucking stupid you sound every time we get AJ on and you immediately start mocking his accent.
No, his friends have said to me that they can't believe that I'm the first person they've heard who can do it justice. Isn't that amazing? He's played it to them and they've been like, that's actually really good. So no one told.
That is actually pretty spot on.
Do you think that he played it to them saying, do I really sound like this? And they went, I'm sorry.
Should I quit this job?
No, I think he sounds awesome.
Me.
I love listening to his voice.
I love it as well. Fantastic. Love it.
Pop culture.
God.
Popture.
Yeah.
That's such a hard podcast name to remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, who we got? Joseph.
Yes.
With a brag writing, I don't tend to be the biggest braggart around, which is why this brag is not about me, but my lovely wife, Dana. She has just recently graduated with a doctorate in audiology after 10 long years of study.
Oh, hell yeah.
10 years, that's sick. I've done my best to support her as a lowly truck driver, and I can safely say that all those long hours were worth helping her achieve her dream. She's already got a job as the head vestibular audiologist at a local practice, and I couldn't be prouder. Confident I didn't say vestibular, right?
Yeah.
Unless
vestibular?
Bueller. Vestibular, yeah. Ferris's sister. I had to jump on the Patreon to tell as many people as I could about my doctor wife, which is what she now insists I call her.
Fair enough.
Thanks for all the hot content that helped keep me sane while I was over the road these past years. Hey, thank you so much. Welcome aboard, Joseph. So good to have you.
And congratulations.
Huge.
Doctor wife Dana.
Oh, Dana, what a legend. 10
Dr.
years.
Dana.
Long time to dedicate to it. So cool. So exciting.
It sounds like it's already paying off with a sweet new gig, so
I
congratulations.
also really like, and I think I said this recently, I like that people will use Fact Quarter Question to brag about themselves. Always want to hear that. But we are seeing a few people be like, I just want to shout out to my friend or my wife or my partner who's done something cool. And you're like, that's the best. You guys are lovely.
Yeah, that's really nice.
How did us, three terrible people, attract an audience of such lovely, kind, sweet people?
I would say, though, like, do you see her and speak to her, Joseph? Just say it to her. You know?
Fuck, you're right.
I'm worried about your relationship if you're having to use intermediaries.
Communication's pretty important in a relationship.
Yeah. So I just think you should tell her as well.
Yeah, don't tell us. We don't care. Tell your wife. Sorry. Tell your doctor wife.
Tell your doctor wife.
Okay?
And also,
schedule a checkup if that's what it takes.
Yeah, don't tell me.
An audio checkup.
A non-doctor fucking stranger? I'm not your doctor wife. I don't care.
No, but I think what you said first was right.
Yeah,
it's very lovely.
Very nice.
It's
very
lovely.
sweet. Love that.
tell Dana we said hi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell her we said hi. And also, good. Enjoy retirement. You looked after her for 10 years.
Now it's her turn.
Now it's her turn.
That's how I understand relationships. Very
Joseph,
tit for tat.
Put your feet up and enjoy.
10 years off the road. Wow.
10 years on, 10 years off. That's pretty good.
FIFO. FIFO Drivo. Thank you, Joseph. Next one comes from Shannon.
Shannon. Did you? Yes. Do you think it's just because he hit the shan?
Shannon.
Yeah.
And Shannon has the title of official, unofficial line cook for the Triptych Club.
Oh, okay. Well, can you get someone in to fix that stove?
And Shannon has a suggestion. They write, I have to suggest to you and all fellow Do Go On listeners that you watch the hit show Our Flag Means Death. I can best describe it as a queer pirate workplace romantic comedy. It features the relationship between Steed Bonnet, the gentleman pirate. He came up in the Blackbeard episode of the minis.
Isn't that wild?
Whoa. Wow. Yes, Jess did a mini episode, which you can watch the video for, about Blackbeard the pirate. Really fascinating tale. Also, Edward Teach, a.k.a. Blackbeard.
Also features in that episode.
We should have kept reading.
They are played to perfection by Aotearoa actors Rhys Darby and Taika Waititi with a stellar supporting cast.
Sorry to interrupt your fact, quote, or question. This is Editor AJ here with my hilarious New Zealand accent, just to correct Matt's butchered pronunciation of Aotearoa. All right, back to the show.
The show is a landmark of representation for queer people, including Jim, a prominent non-binary character, people of colour, and neurodivergent people. It was sadly cancelled before its third and final season. Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
I hate when shows get cancelled and, their plan is just to run forever. You're like, that's tough. But cancelling it before the planned final season...
Yeah. And you're like, well,
cruel.
then I know they left on a bit of a cliffhanger. So there's no resolution for me as a fan of this show.
Yeah,
it's so annoying.
So annoying. But fans have put together a massive renewal campaign featuring a petition, an airplane banner, even a billboard in Times Square. This show has changed the lives of me and so many people I know, creating a real community, much like Do Go On has done. Please spread the word about this remarkable, groundbreaking show. You've spread it to me. I actually auditioned for a part in it, but I did not get anywhere near it.
But with that beard?
I know. That's how bad my acting was. I think I had to do an accent, and I just said I think it was English. But anyway,
you can do English. Be Adele.
Hello, I'm Adele.
Perfect.
Hello, I'm a pirate.
Perfect.
Come on.
Hey,
hired.
Hey,
You're in.
I should have. I went with a different. I think I went Cockney. Because I don't think it specified which English accent. It's like, there's so many. Anyway, Shannon, I've got to watch it. Where's it available in Australia?
I'm not sure.
I think it might be on Binge, I believe.
Right.
I've watched it. I watched it the first season on a plane. It's very fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
awesome. Oh, great. And there's definitely hope for it, like Futurama. And I think did it happen with Community? It's happened with shows that they have been brought back due to, the fans...
Popular demand.
Yeah, or sometimes they bring it back for a movie or something just to wrap it up so you've at least got an ending.
Some resolution.
Yes.
You're killing me. I need to know what happens.
Yeah, but I've got to go back and watch the second season because I watched the first one as soon as it was out, but yeah.
That's great. I'm currently looking for someone to watch, so I'm going to get onto that. Thank you, Shannon. The fourth and final this week, we never cancelled before the final, is from Roy Phillips, a.k.a. Man trying to cram a tan clam into a clean cream can again.
It honestly makes no sense how he can just...
How do you do that?
But sometimes he can't say Matt Stewart properly.
I'm assuming again is meant to be said like
Again.
again. It must be where Roy's from. That must be how they say it, I guess. So Roy, I loved it though, Roy. That felt exhilarating as
it's
always.
like you just clear your mind.
Yeah, I think that's it. I see it and I realize it's happening about 4 words in.
Yeah.
And I go, just roll.
Yeah.
Just roll.
That's nice. Why can't you do that with your reports?
It's a mini meditation. I know, I really should. I think it's because this one I know the end's inside at the end of the sentence.
When you have to talk for an hour, it's a bit different.
Roy has, what is this for the first time? A celebration.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know if we've had a celebration before. That's fun.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
I
Roy,
will.
you should have heard how I was going to finish that. Come on, Roy. I will. Oh, Dave. I was talking about, like, not literally, mate. Okay, so Roy writes.
Stand by what I said.
I just want to say a massive congratulations on 5 years to the day as I'm writing this. That's in brackets or parentheses.
Well, hypotheses.
Just want to say a massive congratulations on 5 years on Matt saying day one randomly during episode 194, Race Around the World. Wow, 5 years since day one.
Day one.
Oh my God. You still don't know what you were talking about.
No. We didn't know either. Didn't we just sort of go,
And I was like later in the episode, I said, I've got to clear this up. I can't stop thinking about it. Is that how it happened?
Something like that.
I said day one earlier.
So it's what day are we up to then?
Yeah, well, you do the sums. 5 times 365 plus probably 1 for a leap year in there as well. Maybe 2 leap years.
It's too confusing.
1,827.
Well.
Crazy.
So say that number again.
1827.
Day 1827. Side question, what's been your favourite moment in the show from the last 8.5 years or so? I think you can probably guess mine. You like day one on your Roy.
Favourite moment? I mean,
there was a time where I did spew out some weird things because was that around the same time as Daesh?
Daesh. Yeah, I got a similar period.
Me having to come up with something on the spot. My brain gave me Daesh.
Favourite moment? I mean, I'm
too
just
many.
Thinking, I mean, recent favourite moment, it's got to be Brad Piss.
Of course. And yeah, the first one I thought of was, I think it was actually a Patreon episode anyway, but it was Matt really losing it about the marathon runners.
Oh yeah, that's one of my
when you really
moments.
break Matt, I break easy. No offense. It's a bad thing on me. I've really had big laughs at a lot of things. I'm an easy laugh. Breaking you two is a treat. Brad Piss was a delight because you really lost. I thought you were going to throw up. You thought you were going to throw up.
From A to Ant also got me in the last year.
Oh, yeah. A to Ant was great. But yeah, when you really get Matt going, it's delightful.
I reckon it happens once a year or so.
Yeah. And it's really fun.
And it's not always on the pod, I'd say, but it's great when the cameras are rolling.
Yeah. There was something recently, it was an image that was getting you going and you had to shut the laptop and then you couldn't think about it and you would start laughing and go, no.
Oh, yeah, because we were about to record. I'm like, I can't. What was it? It was something really stupid.
It was a meme or something.
Yeah, it was a real stupid
dying
meme.
laugh. No.
Yeah, that's right. He had to keep closing the laptop. He's like, I can't look at this.
No. There was one at can't remember what it was about, but one of our Christmas live shows at Comedy Republic. Something happened. Oh no, it was the Who Knew It, where one of you wrote a movie synopsis. And I can't remember what it had, but it was like...
Yeah, it broke you.
It broke me, yeah.
But speaking of live shows, it was also the time, the dinnerware confusion for the Sydney show. That was good fun. And then later that show, we sang the nanny theme.
I think something about Dave not knowing a basic word or something is really
You know what a sugar bowl is?
Yeah.
And then my dad texted me to say, of course we had a sugar bowl growing up. And I'm like, oh yeah, that bowl that had the sugar in it.
It's a sugar bowl.
Because what was your confusion with that one?
There was someone's nickname was Sugar Bowl and I was like, what do you mean? And you were like, a sugar bowl. I was like, what's that? Like literally like you were saying, like Daesh. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Whereas dinnerware, you could sort of understand.
Yes.
If you starting from scratch, dinnerware, that means clothes you wear to dinner.
Yes. Yeah. That was fun. So there's lots of favourite moments. But also I forget nearly everything immediately.
Yeah, a lot of fun moments.
I've forgotten the episode we're doing the Patreon for right now.
I love the episode. One of my favourite moments was your BTK episode, Jess, when I missed some clear clue early on that it was a solved case.
Oh.
So I was listening to the whole thing being like, it's still a mystery in my head. But you knew, obviously, and Dave heard what you said at the start. But when you revealed he was caught, man, that was exhilarating.
Yeah.
Fist pumping.
Yeah,
What
that
about
felt so good.
the twin reveal in the...
Oh, that was a great moment.
That was a good one.
You're a great revealer.
That was the best moment.
I am very revealing.
Best block moment that was last year.
That was a good one.
So many. It's funny. We normally don't like to talk about ourselves like this.
But thank you for asking.
Thanks so much to Roy, Shannon, Joseph, and Libby. Next thing we do is thank a few of our other great Patreon supporters. Jess normally comes up with a bit of a game based on the topic at hand.
Slightly trickier.
It is a tough one. Now, we can either do murder weapons
Oh, yeah.
or
Sash weight.
alibis.
Oh, giant Italians.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And the clue that they leave, an Italian newspaper. Why would they have? It's just such a funny thing. They've killed a man, they've stolen the jewels. We'll have a quick read of the paper, then we'll be off.
I almost forgot. I didn't check the stocks.
Yeah. I didn't check the Italian, it was like anarchist stocks. Yeah.
And I'll leave that behind.
I didn't check if that bomb I left at the stocks went off.
Well, I've read it. Well, I guess they might, any of the ones we left living here, they might want to read it. All right, well... Which one do you want to choose out of those two, Popper?
Let's do an alibi. Okay. We can work together.
All right, great. I'll read them out.
Not an alibi, but like who they said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you've been basically caught almost red-handed, but you've said, no, it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
All right.
Okay,
Dave comes up with them. Jess, you say the piece of evidence that they leave to.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. First up, I'd love to thank...
I've got my first one ready to go.
You don't even know what the...
No. It'll work. This is a perfect versatile thing.
Okay, great.
All right. First up, I'd love to thank from Lower Hutt, New Zealand, it's Putrid Crevice.
It was one of our funniest Patreon supporter names.
But is it better or what? I think it's better now knowing that it's a Kiwi. Putrid Crevice. That's way better, right?
That is good.
Because I was picturing it sounds English. Putrid crevice. Hello, I'm putrid.
I'm putrid.
That is absolutely putrid. No, that's Australian, isn't it?
Putrid Crevice's alibi. No, it wasn't me. It was the McDonald's Hamburglar.
Oh,
they dropped by and stole all of the things.
Yep, and they left behind a sponge.
That had like the McDonald's logo on it.
Like
a sponge.
A Happy Meal sponge?
No. Just a regular sponge.
Putrid crevice. Yeah, no offense to you, putrid, but I don't really know.
Putrid.
Putrid. It's like, well, obviously I'm not framing him. Otherwise I would have put down a Happy Meal or something.
Exactly.
Sponge.
I think we should believe Putrid Crevice.
Putrid crevice. Crevice. Putrid crevice. No. I think I said it best the first time. Anyway, next up, Sutton Forest is where they're from in New South Wales, Australia. It's Kate.
It's Kate. No, it wasn't. Kate didn't do the crime.
No, as if Kate would have done it.
Kate L, Kate O, Kate I.
No, it was the little Girl Scout selling cookies door to door who broke in, did the crime, and then left. But what did they leave behind, Jess?
Dave, for the first two, has given you such obvious things for it to be, and are you going to take that, or are you going to go your own way, Jess? What?
It's a mop.
Which, of course, they carry door to door, because if you're selling cookies and someone immediately starts cooking them, eating them, you can say, whoa, don't worry, part of the service, we'll mop up. And obviously, when you've committed a horrific murder, as this Girl Scout did, a triple homicide, you got to clean up after the crime, and she did that with a mop.
Yeah,
it wasn't Kate. It was the girl. It was the cookie scout with the mop.
With the mop, you do the crime, you do the time mopping up. Next up from Thornbury, here in Melbourne, Victoria, it's Lauren Marr.
Lauren Marr. It wasn't Lauren Marr who did the crime. It was her neighbour, Richard.
Oh.
It was Rich. Everyone knows Richard.
Richard.
They live in a building, they all know Richard.
Yeah, we've all got a Richard.
Because
Mine's an Andrew. I don't know.
Ruth, she blamed someone who doesn't exist. So knowing she'd get away with it in her dreams.
Yeah.
And they'll be chasing this guy doesn't really exist. But in the case of Lauren Maher, she's fingering her neighbour.
Yeah. Because Richard's opened the door to see the police and gone across the hall going, hey, what's going on?
Yes,
he did it. It was Richard. Richard did it. And I've got evidence because he left behind
a tiger cub.
A tiger cub. Classic Richard.
Classic Richard.
That's why nobody likes him. He's always breeding tigers in there.
You should do him for that as well.
Is this true? Or is this also a lie? He's like, no, I don't. I could prove that quite easily.
And also the tiger cub has escaped, so there's no evidence of him leaving the tiger cub.
Yeah, but it was here.
It was here.
It has scratched the couch, and that was not done by a knife.
No.
And the crime is fraud.
Thank you so much, Laura. Next up from La La Land, Los Angeles in California, it's John Wagner.
John Wagner. And John Wagner's been arrested. But don't worry, he's got a rock-solid alibi, and he can tell you who did the crime, and that person is a small mouse.
Oh, yeah.
A small mouse broke in and did the crime, framed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I've got some mouse-based evidence.
Yeah.
And that small mouse left behind
a 14-kilo wheel of cheese.
Oh.
Exactly.
No wonder the mouse left it behind.
Exactly.
We can't carry that.
No.
But mice aren't ants.
Mouse and ants. Mouse and ants. Okay? Mouse and ants.
Mouse aren't ants.
Mouse and ants.
They can't carry stuff that's way heavier than them.
And then from then on, John in the interview is completely silent. No comment. I refer to my previous statement, mouse on ants.
Mouse and ants.
I've seen everything I need to say.
From Wembley in Great Britain, it's Liam Rutherford.
Liam Rutherford has been arrested for an armed robbery.
Whoa.
But it wasn't Liam. It was Tom York, lead singer of Radiohead.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Tom leave behind?
A cello.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Musician.
Radiohead known for cellos.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Heaps of it.
Yeah.
And fair enough, you leave it behind. How are you going to... You can't run away with the cello.
Well, you can put the cash in the case, though.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so he took the case full of cash. Left the cello.
Perfect.
Tom York, you are diabolical.
You've done it again.
From Miriam in the United States. In Kansas, perhaps, it's Kyle Potter.
Kyle Potter.
Potter.
And Matt, remind me, what was the crime for Kyle Potter?
The crime for Kyle Potter was grand theft larceny.
Oh, wow. Grand theft larceny.
Is that a thing?
I think you've added the theft in.
Okay, grand larceny.
Wow.
What does larceny mean?
We don't have time to look it up. What we do have time is to say it wasn't him. It was a man with a jack-o'-lantern on his head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's theft. It's unlawful taking or removing of another.
Which is why you didn't need to say theft.
It is. It means theft.
Yeah.
Grand theft larceny.
Because it's actually like saying ATM machine or PIN number.
Yeah, that would be the case if he didn't steal someone's theft.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
He's stolen the theft. But it wasn't, he didn't steal the theft. Someone else stole the theft, and it was the man wearing the jack-o'-lantern on his head.
Yeah.
Oh. Jack? Pumpkin Jack? What's his name?
Yeah, the jack-o'-lantern. I mean, you'll find him. There's not that many of them.
Is it like a permanent, that is his head, or he's wearing it?
We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. It could be his head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My theory is it's probably his head.
Yeah.
Because why would you wear that? If you could take it off, you would.
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
And he's left behind a Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz costume. Little plaid dress, the red slippers.
Was that going to be the little escape outfit? Like you do the crime wearing the jack-o'-lantern and then you put on the
Look,
Dorothy.
It's hard to say if that was going to be an escape outfit or if he just had somewhere else to be later that night. Maybe a costume party.
Could have been Jack Pumpkinhead, fictional character from the Land of Oz, who
it could have
appears in many of the classic Oz books.
Could have also been Richard dressed up with a costume.
Oh, do you think he's on a crime spree?
I think that all of these could have been Richard.
Yeah.
But you got to remember,
I hate Richard.
Richard ain't a mouse.
Yeah,
and a mouse.
Mouse ate
And an
ants.
ant. No, I made it sound more like English.
Mouse on ants.
Mouse on ants.
Mouse on ants.
Our son ants. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, us on ants.
Our son ants. From Springdale, Arizona in the United States. Please and thank you, Brantley Wheeler.
Brantley Wheeler.
The Wheelers, weren't they also Oz characters? Doesn't matter, but what did happen?
What did happen?
I'll tell you what did happen.
You said that back like it didn't make sense, but it made what did happen.
What did happen?
What did happen?
I'll tell you what did happen.
Life?
Brandy Wheeler's been framed by Ronald Reagan's nephew.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're real proud of it. That's I'm Ronald Reagan. Yeah. Oh, you might have heard of my uncle.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronnie. Oh, you might know him as President Ronald Reagan.
Wow.
Yeah, but I call him Uncle Ron. But my name is Rex Reagan.
Rex Reagan. And Rex Reagan left behind the taxidermied body of Farlap.
Oh,
wow.
And that led
right.
everybody straight to the Reagans.
Yeah,
Yes.
they famously like
Love
horses.
No, Farlap specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, they love Kiwi-born Australian champion racehorse who was killed in America.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They love it.
Going to do that episode one day, but I guess I kind of just did.
Yes, spoilers.
From Ellicott City in MD, probably Maryland.
Probably.
In the United States, or Maryland as we'd say here, but we're fools. It's Tyler Brown.
Tyler Brown has been framed, but it wasn't Tyler.
It wasn't Tyler.
And it wasn't the one-armed man. And it certainly wasn't the two-armed man.
Okay.
It was the three-armed man.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
An extra arm coming from the chest.
Was it that guy from that book that you told me and Jess about on Book Cheat?
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy? No. Hitchhikers of the Galaxy?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It could have been.
I have to
Whoa.
re-listen to that. I've forgotten it.
I'm listening to the book at the moment. That's why.
Ah.
Yes, Tyler Brown. So the three-armed man did it.
Yep.
Jess, what do they leave behind?
Well, it's he's not just a three-armed man, he's also a three-boobed man.
Oh,
so he's
yeah.
left behind a three-shell bra
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay.
for his aerial costume. There must be a costume party happening.
Yes, doesn't it seem like
We
if
had
the
the
cops
Dorothy
could
costume.
just figure this out?
Yeah.
I think you might be able to figure out that all these criminals are coming from the same party. Or
Richard?
Shindig. They're all Richard.
Oh, my God.
Richard's the man of 1,000 outfits.
Yeah, and the man of 1,000 arms.
Really? Yeah. That sounds like that
How
would...
many outfits do you reckon you've worn in your life?
Oh, 7. 7, 8?
From birth to now, hundreds of years. For you? For us, a very normal, cool amount.
Yeah. One,
Yeah, 7, 8, 9. 9?
9. Let's say 9, I reckon.
9
yeah.
outfits. All Friends of Rom themed.
Yeah, it's funny. Some days I'm wearing like multiple layers of Friends of Rom, and I don't realize I take off a Friends of Rom top, and people will be like, "What the? I'm not doing it. It's just it happens to be a third of my wardrobe is Friends of Rom." Finally, from address unknown, can only assume from deep within the fortress of the moles, please and thank you, Mark and Daniel.
It wasn't Mark and Daniel.
It wasn't for the
wasn't
last time.
For goodness sakes, it wasn't Mark and Daniel, but it was 2 other people.
Yeah.
It was Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Whoa.
I knew it.
When
I
they
knew
were very
up to
young
no
too.
good.
Because they started making trouble in their neighborhood. But, I mean, the story goes on. But what was left behind?
They actually left behind their birth certificates.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
rookie error.
Yeah, so that actually made it very obvious because obviously we all carry ours around at all times just in case.
Here's mine.
They were
But they
probably on their
tried.
way to birth, deaths, and marriages or the DMV or something.
Yeah, to do what?
Update their,
Just check in,
IMDb.
update.
yeah, and maybe they needed their, what's that number that Americans have?
Social security
Social.
number.
They probably had to update this as social security
Yeah,
number.
you got to update that.
Yeah.
It's not just a one and done. You got to keep
no,
updating
it's not
it.
one done. You got to bring in your birth certificate, update your SSSC.
Do you get to pick your own number? I'd like 69696969.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. All right, Mary Kate. Well, Ashley says Ashley speaks in the third person. Ashley says I want 696969.
All right, well, you'll have to rock off for it.
All right. Oh, we drew. We always do. We're twins. That's how it would have gone. Thank you so much to Mark and Daniel, Tyler, and Brantley and Kyle and Liam and John and Lauren and Kate and Putrid. The last thing we need to do.
It's early in the day.
The last thing we need to do. I think we become more sensible as the day goes on.
Do you reckon? I hate that about us. Because then I go home and I'm sensible.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello, darling. I'm home from work. Business, business, business.
Yes.
Shall we make dinner and discuss stock? I don't want to do that.
I thought you were going to say love. Shall we make love?
No, absolutely not.
That's
Dinner
not sensible.
And discuss things.
Yeah.
Discuss love.
Shall we talk about our investments? Shall we plan for the future, darling? That's how I talk.
Are you done with the business section, darling? Pass it over.
It's the only section I wish to read, darling.
Take it, darling.
Thank you, darling. As you were, darling.
As you were, darling. Darling. So, I think that was a pretty good impersonation of your beloved partner.
Mm-hmm.
But, should check in. Still in love?
Still in love.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah. The last thing we like to do is the Triptych Club. We welcome in a few people who've been on the shout-out level or above for 3 straight years. There's 3 inductees this week. Dave, explain what the Triptych Club is.
This is our Hall of Fame / clubhouse / hangout zone for people that have been supporting the show for 3 consecutive years. We say, hey, we appreciate you. And we want to induct you into our Hall of Fame. We let you run on in while previous members cheer you. And then once you're inside, there's everything you can imagine. There's music, there's drinks, there's lights, there's cameras, there's action, there's all sorts of things.
There's table ice hockey.
There's booths.
It's supposed to just be air hockey.
Well, you've got to be more clear about that.
I couldn't be clear about it. I've put a big sign on it saying no one touch, especially Matt.
Yes.
And you keep covering my air hockey table in ice.
You know how often you speak ironically? It's hard to keep track.
Okay, so how can I make it clear to you not to touch my air hockey table?
For starters, don't draw a winky face after that.
Okay, fair enough. I was trying to lighten the blow because I felt like I was being mean.
Well, to me, it just comes across as...
Like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have also put a padlock over it. Like, I don't understand how you keep breaking into it.
But you also put a winky face on it. Okay?
I'm just really into winking right now.
I know you're into winking. I know you're trying to make winking your thing.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make winking your thing. It's not going to happen.
I want to be a winker.
Well, it's not happening.
Okay. Well, thank you for being real with me.
Because everyone's saying it. Everyone's like, she's trying so hard.
Okay, well, that hurts, but
it's
thank
gross.
you for being honest with me. Anyway, whatever. Let's just move on. Welcome some people in. Please don't touch my hockey table.
Okay, and Jess, you're behind the bar. You sort of cater. You sort of do whatever liquid catering is.
Yeah.
And do you have any drinks or foods based on today's topic?
Where was this one set? I've already forgotten.
Set in
New York City?
New York City.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Well, that's where it happened. Well, Queens Village, New York City.
Great. So,
But
New
he was
York,
in Syracuse for a bit as well.
New York, what do you think of? Hot dogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got hot dogs. Got some New York slice.
Yeah, which is what they call a hot dog cut in half, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Slice it up right down the middle.
Yeah.
It's actually very precise.
And you say, I want the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no worries.
No worries. There you go. So we got that. And then for beverages, I have water.
Great. You think New York, you think water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight from the Hudson River.
Yep.
Wow.
Delicious, fresh Hudson water.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
That's huddy.
Yeah, that's what you say.
All right, so there's 3 inductees this week. Dave, you got a band playing the after party quickly?
Yes, and when I think New York, I think Portuguese-Canadian singer-songwriter Nelly Furtado is here.
Oh, she's like a bird. More than anyone else I know.
Still killing it. Nelly Furtado, 192nd most played artist in the world on Spotify at the moment.
That's pretty good.
Still killing it.
Top 2 hunch.
27 million monthly listeners.
Huge.
And now we get to see her live.
Awesome.
All the hits, Promiscuous, Man-Eater, I'm Like a Bird, Eat Your Man, etc.
Yep.
Man-Eater and Eat Your Man.
Yeah, she's hungry.
She was starting
Eat Your Man is a Dom Dollar one.
She
features on
Dom
Dollar
DeLuise.
Dom
You said
DeLuise.
Dom DeLuise, funny.
Dom Dollar.
Dom DeLuise.
Correct.
That's some niche stuff. All right, so...
I've got to be getting ready, don't I? All right, I'm hyping myself up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey, no need for that. I'm here, baby.
So we got 3 inductees this week. I'm on the door. I got the piece of paper, the clipboard, got the names. I'm going to read them out. Dave's on stage. He's hyping you up. If you hear your name, run on in. He'll hype you up. Everyone else in there is going to cheer along. Jess will hype up Dave. because he does pretty weak wordplay. That's how he helps you.
Come on, mate.
You're ridiculous.
You just heard I need to hype myself up
You're
over here.
absolutely insane.
I'm lowering their
You're an awful
expectations so
friend.
you can at least just about get over
You're
it.
a really bad friend.
I actually appreciate the lowering part.
Yeah. All right. So first up, please welcome from Mount Riverview in New South Wales, Australia. It's Sabella Hebbles.
More like my best Pella Hebbles.
Yes!
Woo!
Woo!
Sabella Hebels, Sabella Hebbles. I'm so sorry. I have a bad feeling I've not got that right. Also welcome them from Telfiner in Texas in the United States. It's Leroy Hines.
More like Leroy Fines.
Oh, Leroy, you're fine.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh, you're not making him pay for an infringement.
No. But Leroy can afford it because they're worth it.
And finally from Western Supermare, which I believe is where the tall guy from Monty Python's from in Great Britain.
A couple of them are quite tall.
What's the real
John
tall
Cleese.
one? John Cleese. It's Jake Middleton.
Jake Middleton. There ain't no fake Middleton. It's Jake Middleton. Woo!
Wow, Dave, you've done it again. Welcome in, Jake, Leroy, and Sabella. Make yourselves at home. Please play a bit of table ice hockey. Enjoy a Hutto water.
Yep.
That's Huddy.
And enjoy Nelly Furtado. Let's not forget.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You didn't even read out my favourite one of hers, which I can't remember what it was, but it was a different one. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the episode. Is there anything we need to tell people just before we go?
If you would like to suggest a topic, you can, you beautiful little butterfly. There's a link in the show notes, and you can also find it on our website, dogoonpod.com, where you can find info about upcoming shows and our other podcasts. And you can find us on social media at Do Go On Pod or Do Go On Podcast on TikTok. Dave, boot it home.
Hey. I'm afraid all good things must come to an end, including this episode. But until next week, we'll say thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
We've completed that.
Yeah.
AJ, edit that out. Do not make me look like I'm incompetent on this show.
Oh, no. Now he might leave it in.
No, don't.
Because that sounded funny. Actually, edit that out, please, AJ.
Unless you're really pissing your pants, like literally.
How would AJ laugh?
Squelching. If you're sitting in a squelch, I'll leave it in.
Do an impression of AJ really pissing himself laughing.
Pretty good.
I reckon it is.